Naranjo in the shotgun one more time. 2nd and 5 from the 25. Handoff to Moorfield. Got some room on the left side, out past the 40-yard line, near the 45. And a first down and then some for Rialto. And the Knights offense is moving early here in the first quarter.
There's no secret about it. It looks like they're just punching it up the middle. They're trying to soften up the inside, the interior line of La Sierra.
Not only is Rialto running the ball effectively, they're also running the clock pretty well, already down inside of 12 minutes to go. About 11:08. Quick screen. Flipped out to Iglesias. Makes one man miss. Up the sidelines, out across midfield. Pickup of about 5.
That was quite a catch there.
Good move by Raymond Iglesias.
He caught that on the bounce. So it was a forward lateral, or not a forward lateral. It was a
backwards pass. Makes the ball legal off the bounce. 2nd and 4 from the 50 now. Set up on the near hash. Naranjo in the shotgun, running back on either side of him. Takes a snap. Handoff goes to Moorfield, trying to go to the left side, and he's gobbled up. La Sierra's defense comes up big. And Seth Morgan in on the tackle for La Sierra. The junior for the Eagles coming up big.
Seth Morgan read that play very well. Shot the interior line and hit the gap between center and guard and just stuffed that play.
3rd and long for Rialto. Now they got trips to the near sideline. One running back directly behind Naranjo. Now he moves to his left. Shotgun set. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. Naranjo makes one man miss. Now he's near the first down marker. Breaks another tackle. He's at the 40. Got a block near the sideline. Tries to cut back at the 30. And is finally brought down. A big run for Naranjo, the quarterback keeper. And a good tackle made at the end of the run by Lamar Gaines, who had 38 tackles last season for the Eagles. Moves it all the way down to the 30-yard line, does Naranjo. The 32 to be exact, and it's 1st and 10 there.
One of the problems with the 11 hats to the ball, if somebody misses, then it leaves a field behind the last guy, and Lamar Gaines did a great job catching up.
First possession of the ball game, Naranjo gives it to Moorfield right up the middle along the hash. Picked up maybe a couple. Brought down near the 30-yard line. 9:45 to play in the first quarter. Still no score as Rialto received the ball on the kickoff, and they've been milking this drive as long as possible. 2nd and 8 now from the 30-yard line.
One of the things La Sierra likes to do is mix things up with some blitzes and some changing fronts. You're going to have to do something to stuff the middle here.
Naranjo with one running back right behind him. Short side trips along the near sideline. Naranjo going to throw it to the left. Got a man, and it's at the feet of his intended receiver. Looking for Malik Reed, and it's incomplete. Brings up a 3rd and long now for Rialto from the 30-yard line.
Nice job by the defensive backs not being sucked up into a possible run because they've been running, and they played that pass very well.
Well, Rialto, though they like to run the ball a lot, they're not necessarily a traditional pound-the-ball team like, say, a Norte Vista, another River Valley League team. They do spread things out and run the ball more from a spread-out look. Naranjo in the shotgun, got 2 running backs in the backfield with him. 3rd and long, going to give it to Moorfield. He's got a wall of blockers. Gets past the line of scrimmage, dives out near the first down, and it looks like they're going to give it to him by maybe a foot. First down near the 20-yard line, a good run from Jamal Moorfield. And once again, he had over 1,000 yards rushing last season. 1136 to be exact on 126 carries for Moorfield.
He's a bulky guy, too.
Senior at Rialto.
220 pounds. Season. 220 pounds on the list.
Naranjo got a running back to his left. That's Iglesias. Moorfield directly behind him. The give is to Moorfield up the middle. He's got space to run. Moving down inside the 10, and he's dragged down at the goal line. Did he score? Yes, he did. Rialto's on top early, 6-0 on the big run by Moorfield, rumbling his way into the end zone, and the Knights have struck first in this one.
So when they, with all the pursuit they have, and they're playing a zone defense too, a cover 2 in the back, if he crosses the field and he cuts back against it, he had a nice alley, and he's got some burst of speed. At 5'7", 220 pounds, good burst.
Estrada lining up to kick this one. The holder is Malik Reed. A right-footed kicker is Estrada. He's listed as only a kicker on the roster. Here for the PAT attempt after the big run by Jamal Moorfield. Finding the end zone. The kick is up.
I think someone got a piece of it.
No good.
I think someone might have deflected that up at the line.
So it's 6-0 Rialto early. Jamal Moorfield coming off a big junior season, continuing success here in his senior season. He had 16 touchdowns last season. Got one tonight. Now La Sierra's offense, we're going to get a chance to see them playing from behind. Bryce Poppy is leading them at the quarterback position.
But let's go back to real quick to Jamal Moorfield. Jamal Moorfield looks like a fire plug with feet. And he's hard to tackle because he's so wide and he runs very well, very low to the ground. And his missability factor, I think, is up there in the top 10 that I've ever seen. Missability is incredible.
Well, if you're in the market looking to purchase a car, truck, or SUV, make Catalana Motors in Corona your first stop. They have weekly specials, so you're going to save thousands of dollars. Mention the Inland Sports Show and get $500 off. That's Catalana Motors in Corona, off Temescal Canyon Road, and visit them online at catalanocars.com. La Sierra going with a two-returner look as well, set up at the 5-yard line. Rialto going to kick off from dead center at the 40-yard line.
So in the pregame, as I walked through, talking to the coach real quick, Rialto was very fired up. They were very excited about being here. And that redemption theme, the players were echoing it. They were all part of it. So they're off to a great start.
Kick is away. This is a short pop-up kick that lands at the 30. Following on it is La Sierra's second line. And that is where the La Sierra offense will take over. With 8:44 to go in the first quarter, down 6-0 against the Rialto Knights. La Sierra coming off a 27-16 win over San Bernardino. And off of a season where they were co-league champs in the River Valley, a 5-way tie. And with a 1-0 start, they're looking to put the tie behind them and be sole champs in the River Valley League this year. Bryce Poppy with a running back on either side of him. Gives it up the middle. Nothing doing there at the 30-yard line.
Lamar Gaines on that carry. Looks like Rialto is going to stuff the middle there. Rialto is going to alternate between a 4-man front and a 3-man front. But they've got some bulk in there. They got some good-sized guys clogging up the middle.
Gaines had over 400 yards rushing last season. Second and just over 10 for La Sierra. A very balanced attack for this offense. Give is to Gaines again, and he's met in the backfield. Tries to spin out of a tackle and just is able to fight his way back to the goal line. And not much going in the run game early on for La Sierra. Great job by the Rialto front line.
Inside linebacker by the name of Jamal Moorfield in on that play.
Jamal Moorfield does just about everything. He had over 60 tackles last season. That led the team in tackles. Now La Sierra with 3rd and long. Might have the first chance to see how Bryce Poppy's arm is feeling here in week 1. This will be a false start, it looks like, on the far side receiver. And it is. And 3rd and long just got even longer for La Sierra. 3rd and 15 it'll be after the false start from the 25-yard line. And Gary Hedlund probably not happy about that one.
You know, having that week 0 game gives them a chance to work the kinks out and hopefully work the bugs out of getting plays like this, which are drive killers.
So Bryce Poppy going to have to rally the troops. Wouldn't be surprised if they aired it out here. They passed for almost 2,000 yards last season. Poppy airs it out, left side, some contact, and a great catch made there. Andre Thomas goes up and gets it, and this is a guy that Gary Hedlund points to all the time, a star receiver. Had almost 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns last season on 52 catches. He's a 4-year starter. This is his senior season, and a lot of people looking at him as far as going to the next level. Makes a great catch in traffic with contact there to move the ball out to the 50-yard line on the near sideline.
Absolutely. Covered very well by number 4, Malik Reed, out on the corner for Rialto. Great coverage, but just a fantastic catch.
Ball on the near hash. Two backs with Poppy, and he's going to hand it off. This will go Julius Hicks trying to get around the corner on the right side, and he's met and stood up right near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for La Sierra.
Rialto's manned up. They're in a man-to-man coverage on the outside with a 4-man front, but a lot of bulk in there. Just a lot of big bodies stuffing things up for against La Sierra's line.
6:50 to play in quarter number 1. La Sierra facing 3rd and 15. We're able to get a pass off to Andre Thomas, move the ball out near midfield, and now it's 2nd and 11. Poppy takes the snap, fakes the handoff, he's going to throw. Looking for Thomas again. Same side, Thomas tries to go and get it. Lots of contact, and they'll throw the flag on that one. Malik Reed with early contact, and Andre Thomas not coming up with the catch, but he does come up with the yardage, moving the Eagles up again.
Malik Reed got turned around. He had his back to the play, which with any contact means it's an automatic flag, because that defensive back has to be facing up on the ball.
So Andre Thomas, as they targeted him one more time, Malik Reed in coverage, gets called for the pass interference, and it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 36-yard line.
And there's nothing fancy about the play they're trying to run to Andre. They're just having Thomas just sprint out and get past that one. It's a one-on-one coverage there.
Well, Andre Thomas with 11 touchdown catches last season kept that hot streak going with 2 touchdown catches against San Bernardino in week 1. Give up the middle to Julius Hicks, picks up a couple.
One of the things talking to Coach Hedlund early in the week, he talked about their bread and butter is a trap or a counter. That I think we just saw a piece of that right there to Hicks, trying to get the Rialto defense shifting one way and then come back against the grain and find a seam in there. But they got to get through those big fellas in the middle.
2nd and 9 now from the 35-yard line. Poppy with Hicks and Gaines in the backfield. Now Gaines motions out to the slot position. Poppy takes the snap, gives it to Hicks. Trying to hit the B gap. Picks up a couple yards. Down inside of the 35-yard line.
So we've got 220-pound Anthony Salcedo, a defensive tackle who was in on that tackle. You got 220-pound Jamal Moorfield, a linebacker. You got several guys with some beefy, just strong guys in the middle, just stuffing things up. La Sierra's going to have to use her speed, get outside.
3rd and 8 now from the 34-yard line. Quick huddle for La Sierra. Bryce Poppy with Gaines in the backfield with him. They're going to throw. He's looking right at Andre Thomas. Instead, he goes underneath. The catch is made on the sidelines. Is it enough for a 1st down on the reception there by Kyle Diaz? And it is just enough for a 1st down, a 3rd down conversion again for the Eagles in the passing game. And I think that ground game has been setting up well to air the ball out for the Eagles.
Especially with Rialto in a press man coverage coming up there really tight on the receivers. You can see number 4 out here, Malik Reed. He's really pressed up tight.
Poppy with Gaines to his left. Got a receiver out wide to either side from the near hash. Fakes to Gaines, feels the pressure, and he's going to get brought down in the backfield. A big sack for the Rialto defense. In there first was Anthony Salcedo, who made a good tackle just a few plays ago. And that sets the Eagles back. A 2nd and long coming on the sack by Salcedo.
I think La Sierra's going to have to keep moving the pocket. They did that earlier, sliding Poppy right, left, just keep him as not a stationary target, because that defensive line just came through quickly.
Gaines directly behind Poppy. Now he moves to his left. Got 2 receivers to the short side of the field as they're on the near hash. They're going to pass on 2nd down. Poppy rolls to his right. He's got all sorts of room if he wants to tuck it and run. Decides to tuck it. He's got the corner up the sideline. 1st down, and he steps out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A good decision by Bryce Poppy just to tuck it and run. Now with about 4 minutes to play in the 1st quarter.
Rialto got caught in the cover 2 there. They switched to a zone coverage, and they tried to wall out Thomas. They were really worried about him. So Poppy chooses to go to the opposite side, tucks it up, and takes off for 1st down.
Stepped out of bounds just before the marker. 3rd and 1 on the run by Bryce Poppy.
Correction, almost a 1st down.
Now you got to wonder if they go back to the run game with Lamar Gaines and Julius Hicks seeing the majority of the touches out of the backfield. And Bryce Poppy the starting quarterback last season as well. He's a senior this year. Hands it off, and it goes to Gaines, and he is dragged down by the jersey. Not enough for the first down. That brings up fourth down in a very interesting situation here. Moves him back to the 21-yard line. A 4th and 6. And Tyler Wheelwright, the kicker for the Eagles, hit a 38-yarder last season. That was his longest field goal. And this would be right around 39.
I think they're staying with it. They're going for it.
So a 4th and 6 from the 21-yard line. Got 2 receivers to the near side. And that includes Andre Thomas. Keep an eye on him on a 4th down play. Poppy going to pass. He's looking to his right. Now he feels the pressure, tries to step up, and he goes down. And Rialto comes up with a turnover on downs on the sack. A big play by Raymond Alvarado. And Rialto defense comes up with a big play to preserve that 6-0 lead. They'll take over with 3:10 to go in the first quarter. At the 25.
The drive itself was kind of impressive. They had it for over 5 minutes coming back, La Sierra, and but just stalled at the end. Coach Hedlund showing a lot of confidence in his veteran seniors, and unfortunately the line just gave in. The big fellas from the Knights just storming through.
2 running backs in the backfield with Naranjo. And they're going to give it up the middle. Moorfield running people over. Makes one-man miss out to the 30. Pickup of 6 sets up 2nd and 4. Naranjo looks like he's unsure of what the play is. Now they got it settled. Got a receiver in the slot this time, so only 1 running back in the backfield with Naranjo. They motion a man across. They're going to give it back the other way on the counter. Going up the middle to Moorfield. Once again, swarmed by red jerseys, but not till after he picked up a good 5 yards and gets the first down for Rialto.
Moorfield is just a workhorse. They're just pounding it, pounding it, pounding it. He's got quick feet for a bigger guy.
Looks like it's going to be just enough for a first down. And now with 2:32 left, looks like a timeout. Not sure who this is going to be charged to. Both teams headed to the sidelines. And a good opening drive for both offenses. Rialto's ended in a touchdown, and La Sierra just couldn't get it done. Down deep in the Rialto end. Turning it over on downs.
We've got quite a crowd here today. There's excitement in the air. It's a palpable excitement. The La Sierra fans are expecting big things from their team, as are the players themselves. So I think what happened in this initial drive was La Sierra might have been caught on their heels a little bit because they're a very confident team. They expect to win. And if you look at the numbers with Rialto, a team that's coming off a 39-13 loss and a team that doesn't really make the playoffs that much, I think it's possible that La Sierra might have underestimated them from the beginning. Well, they got their attention now, especially with Jamal Moorfield picking his way through them.
Moorfield's run was enough for a first down, 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. They got 3 receivers now on the right side of Naranjo. So La Sierra's defense going to have to deal with a little bit of a different look that they haven't seen yet tonight.
Coach Mitchell, Rialto, said that he likes to mix things up. He wants to show different looks. But I would think right now you want to just keep pounding Moorfield. Let's make La Sierra stop him.
Obviously the only touchdown in this game, 6-0 Rialto coming off the run by Jamal Moorfield, and it's been working all evening long. Just had a nice run, 5 yards to pick up the first down, and like you said, go back to what works for you.
Yep.
Referees still holding up this game. Not sure what the discussion is. They're going to get a new football.
Do you think Tom Brady might have been involved in the
not go
inflation
there,
of this
Jim.
football? Oh, I'm just checking.
Looks like they are going to get a new football in the game here. Rialto's sideline scrambling to get some different balls here.
We might have to check what they're inflated to later on. I'm going to have to take a walk over there at halftime and check the sidelines. See what the poundage involved there was.
Well, I tell you what, athletes from all sports and all levels are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Go check out their strength and speed classes and become the explosive, dynamic athlete you always dreamed of. Follow Boost on Twitter and Instagram and visit them online at boosttrainingsystems.com. Boost Performance Training in Corona.
You know what's kind of interesting, Cullen, is my car, I just had it at Spoiled Oil to get my oil changed. They gave me 2 candies on the way out. If you've ever taken your candy or your car there, they give you a mint on the way out. For the ladies, they give them a flower. Did you know that?
Yeah, but you got two mints.
Yes,
because you're
I
Tim
did.
Hatch.
Yes, maybe because I had bad breath. I don't know, one or the other.
And we're ready to go again. Naraho, quarterback keeper, has a little space, spins out a 1 tackle on the first down carry. Pickup of 3 out to the 40-yard line. It's Naraho trying to do it himself.
So with about 6 minutes of possession right now, Rialto's thrown 2 passes. They're sticking with what got him here.
Once again, the Knights, very run-heavy last season. About 500 passing yards and over 2,200 rushing yards. 2 backs in the backfield with Naranjo. Shotgun look, handoff up the middle, and here's some space for Malik Reed. Gets up the right sideline, finally pushed out of bounds by Gaines at the 40 and into La Sierra territory.
So you got Moorfield, and then they stick it to a quick guy, Malik Reed, who bounces it outside and shows a burst of quickness. So it's gives the La Sierra's defense something to think about.
1st and 10 from the La Sierra 40 now. Rialto not thinking about speeding up the tempo at all. They're continuing to make sure the play is correct before they snap that ball. Naranjo, once again with Reed in the backfield. 3 receivers to the short side of the field. Ball on the near hash. Naranjo barks out orders. Takes the snap and he's going to pass. Rialto throwing the ball for the 2nd time tonight. Again, it's that slant play. It's at the feet of the intended target,
And we get
Sean
a flag
McKenzie.
thrown.
And this could very well be a late hit against Naranjo.
Rialto's pass patterns are not complicated. They're using their speed to get inside and quick slants. This could be setting up an up and out later, a slant and go with a quick pump fake from the quarterback, and then he hits the receiver after the cornerback or safety bites.
And it is going to be a personal foul going against La Sierra. Roughing the passer. Got to Naranjo just a couple seconds late after he released the ball. And it was good coverage by La Sierra. They got the play they wanted. Naranjo had to get the ball out a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Throws the ball low, and they would set up a 2nd and 10. But now it'll be 1st and 10 from the La Sierra 25-yard line. And Rialto's offense knocking on the door again with a 6-0 lead with just under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Coach Hedlund, I know, is a stickler for discipline, and that shows a little lack of discipline, maybe a little frustration from the defensive line in La Sierra trying to get to the quarterback.
So Rialto, a couple last-second substitutions. 2 running backs. Ethan Ulibarri to the right of Naranjo. A motion a man all the way across. Quick fake, and now Naranjo will throw it. In the flat. It's caught out there by Ulibarri. Pickup of around 5 down to the 20-yard line, 19-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and short there for Rialto. So the pass play finally with their first completion of the game, and it works out for them. Big 1st down gain. Naranjo checks the wristband. He's got Reed and Ulibarri with him in the backfield.
Moorfield getting a well-deserved rest after those the first drive and a half.
Ball on the near hash. Shotgun look. They're going to give it to Reed. Finds a crease, tries to bounce it to the left, and is dragged down by a slew of La Sierra defenders. He's out near the 1st down marker, and it's going to be close. The referee motions the sticks to move ahead, and another 1st down for Rialto's offense, which has really felt like it just hit a rhythm.
Yep, a veritable plethora of Knights showing up to tackle the running back, but after he cut it back against the grain, found a nice seam.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Rialto threatening again. Jamal Moorfield back in the game. He's standing directly behind Naranjo. 3 receivers to the right side. Ball on the far hash now for Rialto. Naranjo motions Moorfield to his left. Another pass play. This will be a screen. Quick hit to Garcia. Garcia cuts it back outside, inside the 10, and brought down inside the 5, and another late flag. The helmet came off of number 50 for Rialto.
The play was a great play because they caught La Sierra's defense really looking to stop the run, and they bounced it outside, kind of a bubble screen out to number 9. He made a nice little run at the end. Rialto is in a rhythm. They're just mixing things up, trying to catch La Sierra off balance because La Sierra is very worried about stopping the run. They're putting 8 players in the box ready to step up and stop the run.
Here's the call. It's going to be another personal foul going against La Sierra. And that's a big one, backed up deep in your own end. If you're La Sierra, you get a personal foul called against you, and this will be a 1st and goal for Rialto. So they count the play down inside the 5 on the pass to Zach Garcia, who's a captain for Rialto. And then with the personal foul, it'll likely be half the distance to the goal, looking at 1st and goal from the 3-yard line for the Knights. And this is where you want to go to Moorfield if you're Rialto and Coach Mitchell.
Absolutely. Now, La Sierra, again, I know Coach Hedlund, I can tell you what his halftime talk is going to be about. Discipline, discipline, discipline.
25 seconds left in the first quarter. Moorfield not in the backfield. Now he's to the left, though, of Naranjo. They give it to the man on the jet sweep, though. Malik Reed trying to get near the goal line, and he is absolutely rocked. Ball came out. If Rialto recovered it in the end zone, it's a touchdown. Still waiting for a call from the referees. Malik Reed and the Knights recovered the ball, but short of the goal line.
It was a great hit.
I think that was Lamar Gaines that came all the way across from the other side to hit him. He's the one who's all fired up. And if it was, that is excellent pursuit and an even better hit. And that's exactly what you want to do. If you're a corner covering a receiver on a jet sweep, you follow him across. That is the end of the first quarter. And La Sierra, though they're backed up at their own goal line, they got something to cheer about. Down 6-0. It'll be 2nd and goal. We'll take a quick break after the first quarter. It's 6-0 Knights. We'll be right back. You're listening to Inland Sports Radio. Hey, and welcome back to Zach Erb Stadium. Rialto knocking on the door. They had one chance at 1st and goal. A big stop by Lamar Gaines coming all the way across, following the jet sweep.
That jet sweep was met with a rocket.
It really was.
He flew.
So Lamar Gaines makes it 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line for Rialto. We thought they'd go to Moorfield in the goal line situation. They did not. Moorfield is back behind Naranjo again. They could go that way this time. And they do. Right up the middle. Moorfield walks in. Touchdown, Knights. And it is 12-0 just like that. Moorfield with 2 touchdowns in this game already. And La Sierra's defense left a little real in here as we begin the second quarter.
The interior line of Rialto is just having their way with the interior line of La Sierra, punching big holes. Like you said, he walked in. No one even came close to touching him on that touchdown.
Well, they kicked the PAT after the first touchdown. La Sierra was able to block it, and now they're going to go for 2. Naranjo with Moorfield behind him. Gives it to Moorfield up the middle. Flag here. He's at the goal line, met and in for the touchdown. So the PAT is good, but the flag will make that null and void. Illegal motion against the Knights. And they'll have to try again from 5 yards deeper.
They ran the same play. They just scored the touchdown on it. It was just a little further out. And kind of the same result except for the illegal motion stopping it.
And now you have to go for 2 with this distance. You didn't have success last time you tried to kick the PAT, and now they're going to go for 2 again. A quick huddle for the Knights. Once again, 12-0 as we Or just a couple seconds dipped into the second quarter here. Again, Moorfield in the backfield, along with Malik Reed. Now Reed moves to slot. So doubles formation, 2 receivers on each side. They're going to motion Reed across and give it to him up the middle. Malik Reed trying to get out of a tackle, lost the football near the 5-yard line. Either way, the PAT is no good. So the 2-point conversion doesn't come through for the Knights. They're up 12-0, and La Sierra's offense, who put together a decent drive but came up just short, stalling deep in Rialto's end, will have another shot.
La Sierra had the ball for 5.5 minutes on their drive, and they pretty much had their way with what they wanted to do, but most of it was featured around Andres Thomas, the wide receiver, who is another rocket. La Sierra has quite a lot of speed on the outside with Gaines and Thomas, and they need to get that outside game going because Rialto's inside is proven to be pretty tough.
Eagles playing from behind. And guess who's back deep to return this kick? None other than Andre Thomas, who had a couple good catches, or at least a couple good plays in that last drive for the Eagle offense. Moorfield with both touchdowns for the Knights. They're up 12-0. Kickoff coming from Estrada. Puts the ball dead center on the 40-yard line. It's a deeper kick than last time. Thomas going to catch it on the one bounce. Andre Thomas with some room to return this one. Moves towards the left sideline out to the 20. Tiptoes up the sideline, tries to cut it back, and now he's pulled out of bounds near the 35-yard line. That's where Bryce Poppy and the La Sierra offense will go to work, down 12-0 with just under 12 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Now, on kick returns, you have guys who have outside responsibility. They have to stay in their lanes. They got lucky there because the outside cover guy from Rialto got caught on an inside lane, and Thomas bounced it, but luckily there was a safety staying back to make sure that he didn't bounce it all the way. Boy, he's got quick feet, though.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Late sub coming on for the Eagles. Jogging in there goes Seth Morgan, one of the best offensive linemen for Coach Hedlund. Quick play action pass on the first play. Tipped up in the air and it falls incomplete. Andre Thomas out there wanted a flag. Not going to get it. And it'll be 2nd and 10 on the incomplete pass.
Now, they're in man coverage, but they also have a safety shading over towards Thomas, so it's almost a double cover every time they try and throw over the top. Very well defended by Malik Reed, cornerback for Rialto.
2nd and 10 now. Poppy trying to go back to his favorite target. Just couldn't come up with the connection. Now Bryce Poppy with 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and a running back in the backfield with him. Going to throw again. This time on the slant. It's well overthrown. Bryce Poppy goes down hard on the play.
I think
for Sergio Perez.
I think what Poppy's going to have to do, he locks in on a receiver, and he's not going through progressions. He's just seeing that first option. He's staying with that first option. He's going to have to find this progression there to make things more effective.
Bryce Poppy coming halfway to the sideline after every play to get the new call from Gary Hedlund. 2 passes to start this drive, neither of them complete. Brings up 3rd and 10 from the 34-yard line of La Sierra. Poppy with a running back to his right. 2 receivers on each side. They're going to throw again. Poppy feeling the pressure, gets rid of it, has an open man, and the ball is in the dirt, incomplete, and La Sierra with 3 straight pass attempts, none of them complete to start this drive, and it'll be a quick 3 and out for the Eagles as they come on to punt. Tyler Wheelwright will be the punter for La Sierra.
So on that last play, they went to a cover 2, and in cover 2, the receivers have to find a seam, and I thought the seam was there. The pass just didn't get delivered.
12-0 Rialto. 11:51 to play. A real short possession for the Eagles. 3 passes, all 3 incomplete. And a quick 3 and out, punting from his own 21-yard line now is Tyler Wheelwright.
Not what you want to do if you want to cut into a lead, a 6-second drive.
Wheelwright, the decent punt that lands in Rialto territory near the 40, rolls down and out of bounds around the 32-yard line of Rialto, and now we'll see Jamal Moorfield one more time, looking for his third touchdown of the evening, possibly up 12-0.
I'm telling you, he's tough to tackle. He runs very low to the ground. He's built very low to the ground at 5'7", 220 as he's listed, but he still has very quick feet. He's kind of got the same build as my wife's aunt, who lives in Las Vegas. She's about 5'7", 220. Aunt Sue, quick shout out to you. But I don't think her feet are as quick as Jamal Moorfield.
Yeah, but can Aunt Sue score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter? That's the real question.
Absolutely not. She can't.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Rialto and the offense going back to work once again.
And you called it earlier, Cullen. You said that they're in a rhythm. They're playing with confidence. They're setting themselves up, like keeping La Sierra guessing and off balance. Looking very sharp right now.
And a tough loss to Orange Vista to start the season, 39-13. They fall to the Orange Vista Coyotes. Play action on the first play. They got an open man up the seam, and it's complete for the first down. Good throw from Naranjo.
One of the things I noticed about their offense is they're not trying to ask Naranjo to do too much. They're keeping the passes short and quick and crisp. And again, they caught La Sierra in the cover two and hit a seam.
5'7" senior Richard Macias on the receiving end of that pass. Moves the ball out to the 46-yard line as they approach midfield. Ball on the far hash now. Got a lone receiver to the left. This is a one-on-one matchup here on the left sideline for Naranjo if they want to throw the ball again. And they will not. They give it to Moorfield, who coughed the ball up. Naranjo is able to fall on it in the backfield and avoid disaster. They'll lose a few yards on the play and bring up second and double sticks.
That's something right there that could get La Sierra fired up. Something, a break that goes their way. Recover a fumble, but in this case a loss because Rialto was marching again.
12-0 in favor of the Knights. It'll be second and real long. They're from the 43-yard line of Rialto. 2 receivers now to the left side for Naranjo. And now it goes trips to the left side. Naranjo could pass here. He's got Malik Reed in the backfield with him. Now he's on the draw, quarterback keeper up the middle, near the 50-yard line.
I think that was a called play because they got La Sierra in the man coverage there, and that left some gaps in the middle because that spreads them out so far. So, again, Rialto doing a nice job just changing things up, not getting into a pattern that La Sierra can read easy.
3rd and 8 from the 48-yard line of Rialto. They got a man down for the Knights. We'll take a quick break. But Rialto, like you said, has hit a rhythm offensively. They're moving the ball well. Up 12-0. Would love to add to the score before halftime. 10:09 to go until that halftime buzzer sounds. And La Sierra offensively, they had some bright spots in that first drive, but it stalled deep in the Rialto end. And then the second time they got the ball, a quick 3-and-out on 3 passes, kind of going away from what they did that first drive.
Absolutely. You said it earlier that they were mixing it up, softening things up with some runs up the middle to at least make Rialto be honest, keep it honest, and jam things up in the middle. But, again, Poppy seems to be locking in on one receiver, and Rialto, in their cover 2 last time, they're covering Thomas with 2 players. So, in essence, a double team on him.
Very balanced attack for the Eagles, and Gary Hedlund focuses on that a lot. Like we mentioned before, balanced attack last season, and then in week 1, or week 0, I guess that is, game 1, they had just over 200 passing yards and 190 rushing yards, so only about an 18-yard difference between the run game and the passing game. And then on that drive, they threw the ball 3 straight times, and it just didn't work out for them.
I think what you got there is the defensive line of Rialto. The Knights are just pinning their ears back, and they're just crashing the line. Just a bull rush on the offensive lineman of La Sierra. Maybe a moving pocket again, or keeping Poppy on the move would be something that would help out the beleaguered offensive line of La Sierra.
Well, I tell you what, if you just can't get enough of us, we've got Etiwanda, Murrieta Mesa on Saturday. I know you had a chance to to sit down with Coach Turner and catch up with him for Murrieta Mesa, and obviously going to be a good matchup on Saturday. We hope you'll all join us.
Yeah, hey, head down there. I've heard it's a crazy, crazy atmosphere. Great fans, great food. I need to start myself off with a Ram burger. That's what I was told I need to do by Coach Turner.
So Daryl Turner highly recommends the Ram Burger. If you're not going to be in the stadium eating your Ram Burger, please join us on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We'll have pregame at 6:50 for that one. Etowanda and Murrieta Mesa. We're ready to go again. 3rd and 8 from the 48-yard line. Naranjo motions a man across. He's going to give it to Moorfield on 3rd and 8. Who else? And he pushes the pile up across midfield. Not enough for the first down. Going to go from 48 to 48, it looks like. And now you kind of in that no man's land right here in the middle of the field. Do you punt it or do you go for it? Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here for Rialto.
I think Rialto is trying to send a message right here. If they go for it and they get this, then that sends a message to La Sierra's defense that we got you. But at the same time, now La Sierra, it's their turn to step up and say, no, we will not fall. We will make a stand.
La Sierra on offense had a false start. Got to kind of wonder here towards the end of the half if Rialto's going to go hard count and try to get the defense to go off sides. And Gary Hedlund calls a timeout here. He wants to talk to his defense in a 4th down situation from the La Sierra 48.
So probably talking about what you just said, the hard count and being disciplined and moving on the ball and on the snap. And I don't know that Rialto would do a hard count here. I would just give it to Moorfield and say, okay, stop us.
And we've seen Moorfield consistently get the 5 yards that they need here over and over again. It will be 4th and 5 from the 48-yard line, just inside of La Sierra territory. A 12-0 Rialto lead with 9.5 to play before halftime.
So with the clock in their favor, they've used up, let's see, they had a 5-minute drive, then 3-8. So they're at, I want to say La Sierra's only had the ball for a little under 6 minutes for the whole game so far.
So Rialto.
Yeah, just burning clock.
Both teams back out on the field. Naranjo and the offense still out there. And the Knights going to go for it. 4th and 5 from the 48-yard line. Moorfield in the backfield. Malik Reed on the left side at receiver.
An option look.
Option play. Naranjo tucks it himself on the left side. He's near the first down marker. It's going to be close, and they're going to give it to him.
Another new look. Another wrinkle they threw out of that timeout was that option look.
Naranjo, Moorfield running to the left together. And Naranjo chose to keep it himself instead of pitching it out. It worked out for him. Down to the 44-yard line of La Sierra, and a 1st and 10 there for the Knight offense.
I have to say, Rialto's been very impressive in their willingness to change things up and give new looks.
Again, Moorfield lined up directly behind Naranjo. 2 running back look, 1 receiver on each side. 44-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for Rialto. Already up by 2 touchdowns, looking to add to it. Moorfield going to get the call, and he is dragged down by the back of the jersey in the backfield. And La Sierra's defensive line comes up big there. Getting there first is Joey Alvarez, a 5'10 senior for the Eagles, and this will bring up 2nd down and double sticks for Rialto yet again in this drive. Now working from the 47-yard line of La Sierra.
La Sierra needed that. That's a breath of fresh air where somebody stepped up and made a play. Again, they have a lot of seniors out there, and they want to win, and they've learned how to win. So right now is where they need to buckle up and make a stop.
Malik Reed back at receiver on the near side. Ball on the far hash. 2 receivers on either side. Motion Moorfield to the right of Naranjo. This is going to be a quick screen pass. They go to Reed, and it goes through his hands. If this is a backwards pass, it's a live ball. The referee is going to rule it an incomplete forward pass. And that's 3rd down and double sticks from the 47. Now, the 1st down marker is all the way at the 34-yard line.
We see another change, another wrinkle. That was going to be a wide receiver screen. Earlier they ran a bubble screen, but that was a little wide receiver screen. So the Rialto offensive coordinator is really changing things up and giving different looks.
Rialto tried to go to the wide side of the field. They had a virtual one-on-one matchup. Nobody out there blocking for the screen. Was hoping Malik Reed could catch the ball and make a man miss. Instead, it's an incomplete pass, and now a 3rd and 13 from the 47-yard line. Going to go trips to the left side here.
So now they went from a power set to a pro set, spread offense.
Moorfield in the backfield with Naranjo, and this could be a delay of game against Rialto, which really pushes them back. This will be an 3rd and 18 now.
This is a huge play or a huge series for La Sierra's defense because right now, despite being pushed around and kind of being dominated, it's still just a 12-0 game. So one score turns it around, but they need to get a stop here.
Rialto from their own 48-yard line now back in their own territory with just over 8.5 to play before halftime. Naranjo with trips to his left, going to pass it. He's looking to his left. Now he's got to avoid some pressure. Tried to dump it off. It was tipped up in the air and caught by one of the Rialto offensive linemen. And this will likely be a punting situation for the Knights as they run the special teams onto the field. And this is 4th and extremely long. The ball is spotted all the way back at the Rialto 37-yard line. And you talked about it. That is a big series for the La Sierra defense. Keep this a 2-score game. And if you were able to drive down as the Eagles offense with 8 minutes left and cut this lead in half, that would be huge going into halftime.
Absolutely. Or how about a big lightning play on special teams here by
Andre Thomas.
Yes.
Once again, a 4-year starter, 2 touchdown catches against San Bernardino in week 0. This is a real short punt, lands just about midfield. Rialto hoping that to get a good bounce. It's going to roll down towards the 40. 41-42 is where Bryce Poppy will take over, and La Sierra's offense trying to move forward from that quick 3-and-out that they had the last time they got on the field.
You know what I'd like to see here? I'd like to see Thomas getting the ball on maybe like a jet sweep or a buck sweep, old-fashioned buck sweep. Just get him the ball in his hands, let him work his magic.
And that's one of the beauties of high school football. You take the best athletes, you figure out a way to get them the ball, put the ball in their hands, and see if they can make something happen.
And La Sierra does have quite a few, some speedy guys.
You go down the list, Andre Thomas can run the ball well, Lamar Gaines, Julius Hicks, all guys that can carry the rock for the Eagles. Now they're going to motion Lamar Gaines behind the quarterback, Poppy. It looks like La Sierra may have moved just a bit early, and this is not a good start to this drive that is very important for the La Sierra offense.
Again, playing that week 0 game against San Bernardino, hopefully they worked out some of the kinks and got some of the butterflies out, worked out some of the bugs out of the system, but we're seeing some things happen that are characteristic of a first week game.
Still waiting for the official signal, but I can guess by when the flag was thrown that it's going to be a false start on the Eagles, and it is. A 5-yard penalty to start off this drive. 1st and 15 now working from their own 37-yard line.
So now you give guys like Chris Verdun, 6'2", 250-pound lineman from Rialto, to just a chance to pin his ears back and just go with 1st and 15.
2 running backs set here for La Sierra. Got a receiver on each side for Bryce Poppy. He's going to pass it. Feeling the pressure, like you said, that Rialto defensive line almost got to him. He just gets it off. Quick pass underneath. Able to get it to Julius Hicks. Gets back to the first stick. And this will bring up 2nd and a little bit more manageable 7 yards now from the 44-yard line.
Poppy showed some toughness there. That pocket collapsed quickly, and he stepped up and made a play with somebody in his face. And a lot of pressure on him. Another flag.
Flag down on the play. Looks like La Sierra going to back up one more time, and this is going to be holding, and that's a 10-yard dent in this drive. A first down and real long now for La Sierra, working from their own 24-yard line. The first down marker is not until the 48 of Rialto.
This is definitely not the way you want to start the scoring drive that's going to bring you back to a within 1 touchdown.
You do have Andre Thomas. He's got big play capabilities. He's on the far side right now for La Sierra. Poppy takes the snap. Play action. Quick pass on the screen, and it is incomplete. Looking for Thomas. And like you said, you find a way to give your playmakers the ball. Incomplete screen pass, and now a 2nd and long for La Sierra from their own 24-yard line.
Now, as a quarterback, I know the feeling. When you're trying to set up a screen, you want to allow some pressure to come and get you. When I was in high school, I was a quarterback. My linemen specialized in lookout blocks. They let the guy go through and say, look out, and then you'd have to run. Well, he got a lot of pressure there. The pressure came too fast. It forced him to throw a pass when he wasn't set and made it a tough pass for Thomas to get. But, again, Rialto playing in a great groove here, defensively also.
12-0 Knights. Just under 7.5 until halftime. Bryce Poppy in the backfield with a running back to his left. Play action, feeling the pressure again, moving backwards and to his left, just lobs it up, incomplete underneath. Had a receiver in the area, and now this is going to be a personal foul. A taunting call likely coming against Rialto here. And this could mean a first down for La Sierra, just handed to them on a silver platter.
The defensive player made a great play, and he stepped up. And you said you called it. Quarterback was in trouble. He floated a pass over the middle. Defender made a great play, and he celebrated over the guy, the receiver.
And I think that the referees are going to really focus in on the clapping of the hands after that play. And I think it's going to be a personal foul, which would be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for La Sierra.
Wow. Discipline-wise, not what you want to do from Rialto's side. Just got done saying they're in a groove. They're looking at heading into halftime up 2, maybe 3 scores if they get the ball back. And now they give La Sierra new life on a 3rd and 25. Not a smart play.
So it's not an automatic first down on the taunting penalty.
Okay.
It will be a 3rd and a manageable 14. Working now from their own 38-yard line is La Sierra. 3rd down and 14.
3-man rush from Rialto.
Now they blitz a backer. Rolling to his left is Poppy. Just able to get it off to no man's land. No receiver in the area. I think Andre Thomas was the half-intended target.
There was a blitz on that play. Did you see who it was? It was number 3.
And the guy can do it all. I mean, Moorfield on offense. We've seen him with both touchdowns in this game as La Sierra runs the punt team onto the field. And right there, he disrupts a play for La Sierra once again. And Bryce Poppy doing a good job of standing up in the pressure, but also sometimes you just got to throw the ball away or take this sack. That's 2 plays in a row that he's lobbed one up. And Rialto's defense, who's been swarming lately, looking for maybe to come up with a pick. And this is really unusual at the high school level. 2 returners back on the punt for Rialto. And you got to wonder if La Sierra may consider a fake punt at some point in this game, maybe not now with a 4th and 14.
No, I see a lot of open field out there. That extra receiver is back, a quick guy.
Tyler Wheelwright
Yep.
with a good deep
Good
punt. Bounced off the shin of the Rialto returner. That's a live ball down inside of the 10. Pile for it, and it looks like the Knights were able to get back on top of it. So La Sierra couldn't come up with a turnover on the punt, but they do pin Rialto real deep inside of their own 10-yard line. Having trouble handling it for Rialto was none other than Malik Reed.
So it's another thing, motivation is a tricky thing that, this could be something that turns them on here. It turns their offense or defense on, gets them to react a little better because, again, they're in that groove. So La Sierra needs to change things up and get Rialto out of their groove.
12-0 Knights, just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Naranjo and the Rialto offense back on the field once again. 2 touchdowns for the star running back Jamal Moorfield. 2 backs in the backfield with Naranjo, 1 to his left.
So in the power set here.
They're going to give it to Moorfield. Tries to bounce it to the right, and he's got open space over there. First down marker near the sideline, out across the 20, and a flag down behind the play, which usually means holding, but we'll have to hold on.
Yes, it was. Good call, Cullen. It was holding on the play, called on Rialto.
And once again, penalties hurting an offense in this game early in a drive, and you have a little bit of a miscue on the punt. The ball bounces off the shin of your returner. You're pinned deep inside your own 10-yard line. Now you got to move back 10 yards, which will probably be half the distance to the goal as they started this drive at the 9-yard line.
Moorfield is just a workhorse, and doesn't look like he's a guy who'll bounce out like a 90-yard run, but he's just consistent, 10, 12, 10, 7. And he had a nice run there for a first down, pulled back.
1st and 14 now on the holding penalty against the Knights. Got the straight eye set. 2 running backs with Naranjo. Moorfield up the middle. Got through the first line of defense. Still on his feet. Boy, that guy is hard to bring down.
His feet never stop moving. And something you teach running backs is they run low, especially once they get the ball, and they just keep their feet pumping. And his feet never stop.
Got a good chunk of yardage back on that one. Moves it out to the 13-yard line for the Knights. A little bit more manageable. 2nd and 6. Moving towards 6 minutes to go in the first half. Strong side is to the left of Rialto. Fake to the first back, give to Moorfield. First down yardage out across the 20. And Moorfield continuing to carry this Rialto offense. And another good drive as they try to add to their lead before halftime here.
Now, Moorfield, like they say, he runs downhill. So when he gets the ball, he's running downhill hard. And those defenders have to meet him a little sooner at the point of attack because once he gets a head start and gets some steam behind him, he's tough to bring down.
1st and 10 from the 21. Naranjo with a running back to his left. They motion a man across and then give it on the counter to Moorfield. Again, across the line of scrimmage. Gain of 3 or 4. And that's good first down yardage. That's what you look for in a running offense. If you can pick up 4 yards on every play, you're in good shape. 2nd and 6 now from the 25-yard line. Naranjo. Strong side is to his left. And they motion a man down and straight across in the backfield, got a running back on either side. They're going to try and go outside on this play. They go to Malik Reed. He's got a couple blocks out across the 30, up the sideline. He steps out of bounds after picking up the first down, out across the 35-yard line, and Malik Reed with a flag down behind the play, but near the sideline. The La Sierra sideline seems happy about it, which means this could go against the Knights. And it could be holding on the outside, and it is. They had a receiver down there blocking for Reed on the sweep play. Looks like he got a little bit more.
On that play, the receiver, what he has to do is just occupy a defender. He just has to stick his head and stay outside of the defender. But he got caught inside, and then he had to grab some jersey. Too late, holding, play brought back again.
5:01 to play from the 23. 2nd and 8 for Rialto. Got everybody in tight on this play. No receivers out wide. Motion a man across. Play action. They're going to go to the flats. Reed, and it's over his head. So an incomplete pass will bring up 3rd and 8.
Very well defended. Sniffed out by the cornerback from La Sierra, who I believe is Andre Thomas. He made a nice play on that.
And neither team has a huge roster, so when you see these good athletes, they're going to play both ways. And like Andre Thomas, plays on special teams as well for La Sierra. Moorfield did some kicking last year. He plays offense and defense for Rialto, and it's fun to see these really good athletes play in multiple positions and have success on both sides of the ball.
Again, one of the things about high school football is you find those best athletes and you keep them on the field as much as possible.
2 receivers now to the near side and the short side for Rialto. They'll motion a man across, left to right. Handoff up the middle. It's Reed who gets the ball, and he's brought down by a swarm of La Sierra defenders. And this will bring up a 4th down situation for Rialto, and here comes the punt team. They're up 12. They don't want to risk anything given the La Sierra sideline momentum, and they've had success defensively as well, so they'll give them the ball back on the punt. About 4.5 to play till halftime.
Jacob Ruiz made a great play on that for La Sierra. He sniffed that out, stepped up into the gap, and stopped that play from busting out bigger.
So Andre Thomas back to return things for La Sierra.
Now, if you're Rialto, now you hope that these 2 holding penalties aren't the things you look back on if things start to fall apart.
Punt just got away for Rialto, and now the poison call for La Sierra. Got to get away from the ball as it rolls down inside of the La Sierra 40. And it looks like Bryce Poppy and the Eagle offense will take over at the 38. Plenty of time to get a score before halftime. 4:05 on the clock here in the second quarter. Rialto up 12-0. And La Sierra's offense on the last few drives has virtually stalled. Will have a chance to try to cut into that lead.
So the last 2 drives combined, probably about 2 minutes of possession time total for La Sierra's offense. A lot of passes, a lot of incomplete passes. Got to do something to get that rush off of them.
And La Sierra found a little bit of success running the ball, and if they could go back to that, Lamar Gaines, Julius Hicks out of the backfield, open up that passing game one more time and try to find Andre Thomas maybe later in this drive. We'll see what happens here. Poppy takes the snap. They're going to throw it on first down. Out to the flats, a little out route, and it's just flat out dropped by the receiver on the far side. And La Sierra with an incomplete pass to start this drive yet again.
The timing looked good on that. They caught Rialto in a cover 2. Rialto's in that prevent defense. They don't want anything getting behind them. A little fearful of the speed. And they ran a receiver out into the slot. He just dropped it. Started to run before he had it.
Lamar Gaines on the sideline for La Sierra without a helmet on, and that's not good news if you're an Eagle fan. 2 receivers on the far side. 2nd and 10 for La Sierra. Poppy going to throw it again. Lobs one up, and this is intercepted. Rialto coming back the other way. With the ball is number 7. He's up the sideline, still on his feet. Tackled it around the 11 for Rialto. And now a late flag comes in. And the Rialto defense, who has been threatening with a big play almost all day long, comes up with one there. The interception with 3:50 to go in the first half. And this flag at the end, too, is also not good for La Sierra. It's a personal foul that moves the ball half the distance to the goal line, and Rialto's offense will take over at the La Sierra 6.
Cullen, you must be psychic. You called it, that he's floating passes out there, and he floated one, and the cornerback from Rialto just jumped it and then returned it just short of a touchdown.
Not a whole lot to celebrate about for the Eagles fans right now, but Lamar Gaines is back in the game, and that's good news if you're a La Sierra supporter. 2 running backs in the backfield with Naranjo. Takes the snap, gives it to Moorfield, makes one man miss at the line of scrimmage, down near the goal line, but a flag is down behind the play, and it'll be a legal motion once again on Rialto. And they like to move guys around before the snap quite a bit, but you got to be on point with your timing or they will get you for a legal motion, and that's been a point of emphasis for high school referees lately.
That would be the 3rd call in the last 2 drives against them. They're just building some momentum, getting things going. That'd have been a huge play because Moorfield was close to the goal line.
This will be 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. A goal line situation for the Rialto Knights, and they could go right back to Moorfield. I wouldn't blame them. Naranjo with a running back to his right and Moorfield behind him. They're going to give it to him on the left side. Up the middle, he's met by a linebacker. Still turning his feet down near the goal line, and he's going to be close, but no cigar as he's just inches away from scoring a touchdown according to the goal line referee.
If I could describe this for our listeners, he's not just moving the pile, he's moving a pile. He has players from both teams piled in there, and his feet are just churning, and he carried them at least 5 yards.
3 minutes and counting. Rialto trying to build on a 12-0 lead right before halftime, and now a timeout called by the Knights with 3:03 to play. You got to wonder what they're discussing here. 2nd and goal, just inches away from scoring their 3rd touchdown of the evening. The first 2 scored by none other than Jamal Moorfield.
So let's look back to the Super Bowl with Seattle a couple years ago. Remember when they had that chance to win the game and they got cute? And instead of just handing the ball to the running back, they decided to be cute and throw a pass. It was intercepted. If I'm Rialto here, I'm not being cute. I don't care about running time off or whatever because there's 3 minutes left. I'm going to hand the ball to Moorfield and let's punch it in. Let's make a statement right here and just put him down 3 scores and see what happens after.
Jamal Moorfield is your go-to guy. He's scored the first 2 touchdowns in this game. It's 12-0 Rialto because of him. Plays offense, plays defense, a little bit of special teams as well. And like you said, 2nd and goal, you got to wonder what the thinking would be going anywhere other than Moorfield.
Well, I think sometimes people want to be too cute, try misdirection, and I just think the most effective thing is you got a sledgehammer and you're breaking up watermelons. Let's break it up. Let's destroy that watermelon with a sledgehammer.
Naranjo in the shotgun once again. 2 running backs back with him. Directly behind him, it's Moorfield. And they're going to go on the quarterback keeper, faked it to Moorfield, and into the end zone for the touchdown is Naranjo. And Rialto has made it 18-0. 2 touchdowns for Moorfield, and now 1 for the quarterback, Naranjo. And the Knights offense having their way right now in this game with under 3 minutes to play before halftime.
Again, with their offense mixing things up, they faked the ball to Moorfield, and then he just followed him. So he used him as a lead block So there was 2 backs in front of him going through. It was pretty hard to stop when you got a guy like Moorfield leading the way.
Once again, Rialto going to go for 2. They tried the extra point kick on their first touchdown. It didn't go well for them, and they've gone for 2 the last 2 times. See how it goes this time. Naranjo, shotgun. Low snap, he has to fall on it, and once again, the 2-point conversion attempt is no good for the Knights. 18-0 Rialto as we approach halftime. 2 minutes and 59 seconds to go, and now a player down. Well, La Sierra, if they're going to have productivity from their offense, it's going to have to come soon. And to put together a good drive before halftime would be huge for Gary Hedlund and this La Sierra offense, who has so many weapons but has been unable to find a way to use them.
I see the last 3 drives, I have them for a minute and a half. Well, we went 6 seconds before they minute and a half, and then with the interception, very short drive. La Sierra's defense has been on the field for a long time. But, again, Coach Hedlund has a veteran group. I'm sure at this point they're not panicking. They need to get a little fired up here and get something on the board, though, to go into halftime. Establish some success, change the momentum a little bit.
Andre Thomas, Julius Hicks, the 2 returners back for La Sierra. On to kick is Estrada for Rialto. It's actually Sergio Perez back to return for the Eagles, along with Andre Thomas. Set up at the 5-yard line. Kickoff bounces in front of Thomas. At about the 15, he's going to scoop it up. Makes one man miss up the left sideline. Now he steps out of bounds. Out near the 30-yard line, we'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be the 26, where Bryce Poppy, the La Sierra offense, who have had trouble finding success in the last few drives, will take to the field one more time with just under 3 minutes to play before halftime. Down 18-0 to this Rialto team.
I think Rialto's doing a nice job of mixing things up on both sides of the ball, like the kickoffs. They're squibbing it to that front line, so a runner like Thomas, they can't set up a return. He's got to catch it on the bounce. They got to scramble. So Rialto's doing a nice job.
Bryce Poppy. Got one receiver out wide to either side. Going to hand it off. This looks like Julius Hicks going up the middle. Picked up a good chunk of yardage on first down, and he stood up out near the 35-yard line.
He got a good head of steam there, some good blocking schemes in front of him. Nothing fancy about it, just a sweep to the left. Looking good.
Good pickup for Hicks on first down. Poppy, shotgun again. This time they'll give it to Hicks one more time. Left side, trying to break out of a tackle, and he does. Just enough for a first down as he falls forward. And this is the run game that we saw in the first drive for La Sierra. That was probably their most successful drive of the entire game.
Yeah, they mixed it up very well on that drive. The pass run option or ratio, probably about 50-50.
First and 10 now from their own 38-yard line. Clock is running, 2:15 and counting here in the first half. Poppy again with Hicks in the backfield. They fake it to him and they'll pass. Bryce Poppy feeling the pressure, throws it on a line over the middle. It's caught. And that'll be a late hit. Going here against Zach Garcia as he came in late. Catch was made by Jacob Ayala, who just found a spot in the middle of the field for La Sierra.
Yeah, because Rialto's in that cover 2 prevent defense, and they're giving a lot of space in front of the safeties. And receiver did a great job. Poppy showed great patience on that one.
And it will be a personal foul going against Garcia.
Discipline. Difference between teams that make the playoffs and don't make the playoffs.
So you count the play, you move the ball forward to the 31-yard line. And La Sierra trailing by 18 with just under 2 minutes to play. Now in Rialto territory, a chance to get on the board before halftime would be big for Gary Hedlund and the La Sierra Eagles. First and 10 from the 31 after a big play to Jacob Ayala. Poppy hands it off to Hicks. Gets past the line of scrimmage, puts his hand down to stay on his feet, and a big pickup on first down out near the 25-yard line.
Nice lead block by the guard coming across. I couldn't see his number, but he cleared a big hole, and Hicks just got on his hip and stayed right with him.
Pickup of 6 on first down, and La Sierra's offense finally finding its groove, and that'll prompt Rialto and Robert Mitchell to call a timeout here. With 1:39 to go in the first half, Knights up 18-0.
So this is probably a statement possession here. La Sierra is saying, hey, we're on our heels, but let's not panic. We get a score. We cut it to 2. It's manageable. You don't make it all up in one play. A drive, a stop on the defensive side, a drive on the offensive side, and they're back in the game.
This will be from the 25-yard line. A 2nd and 4 situation for the La Sierra Eagles.
This is most excitement this large La Sierra crowd has shown because they've been on their heels, in their seats most of the time. Now they're up on their feet.
Bryce Poppy in the shotgun got one receiver out wide to either side, wing back to his left and a running back to his right. Going to give it to Hicks, left side, through the hole, and he's got room to run. Hicks met after picking up the first down near the 15-yard line. He'll be down to the 14-yard line. Good enough for a first down for La Sierra, and they're moving the ball well. Still under 2 minutes to play. We're down here about a minute and a half in the first half.
I think the Eagles have found a gap in the Knight defense, and they're exploiting it right now, just punching it through that left side over and over again.
Looks like another player down here as La Sierra has to make a substitution. Coming into the game on the offensive line for La Sierra, number 72, Austin Work. And a 1st and 10 now from the 13-yard line for La Sierra. Ball on the far hash now. Strong side is to the left. Snap comes, but the whistle is blown already. Minute 32 on the clock, and this looks like an official's timeout. I don't think this will be a penalty.
They wanted the clock wound.
After the penalty, they got to run the clock. Now the clock is running down under a minute and a half to play in quarter number 2. So they'll let the clock run for a little bit. Now Bryce Poppy gets the okay to snap it, and here comes another whistle. This will be a false start against La Sierra. What an unfortunate turn of events for the Eagles offense, who was really in a groove, and now you get this stoppage in play that comes from the referees.
They had some momentum going. They finally had some good momentum. And here we go.
So this will be 1st and 15 now. From the 17-yard line, La Sierra with under a minute and a half to work with before that halftime whistle blows. Give to Hicks, right side, finds the hole, off tackle. Down near the 15, pickup of a couple. It'll be 3rd and long. Down to about 50 seconds left.
I think Coach Hedlund found something that works. Good old-fashioned run the football.
Poppy fakes it to Hicks. Feels the pressure. He's going to go down. And a big sack for the Knights defense with under a minute to play in this first half. And now a flag comes again. Bryce Poppy is down. And La Sierra going to warm up a backup quarterback now. Not sure who's the QB2 on the roster. But La Sierra with a flag down has Bryce Poppy laying on the ground. Obviously, we hope the best for him.
He's been a warrior today, been standing in against a lot of pressure.
It looks like the backup quarterback who's warming up on the sideline is Justin Esquivel. A right-handed quarterback. And Bryce Poppy going to jog off the field here. 37 seconds left. It's going to be a personal foul against Rialto. But it was after the play, so this will be 4th down. Ball moves up to the 11-yard line. It'll be 4th and 8 from there.
Poppy has to come out for at least one play.
So with Bryce Poppy out, Gary Hedlund going to take a timeout. And I'm not sure what the rules are in high school football, but if you take that timeout, does that allow the player to be eligible to go back into the game?
Yes, it does. So by burning a timeout, he then allows the injured player to come back in.
But now you have Tyler Wheelwright going back onto the field for the Eagles. He's their kicker. His longest field goal is 38 yards. That was last season that he hit that.
On 4th and 11, I think you do got to come out of this with some points.
4th and 8 from the 11-yard line. This would be
4th
about
and
a 29-yard field goal, well within Wheelwright's range. And if you're La Sierra, a chance to get on the board, down 18-0 with 33 seconds left here in the second quarter.
A good field goal gets you within 2 scores.
So Tyler Wheelwright, who was 36 for 38 on PATs last season, almost automatic from the point after distance. 4 for 6 on field goal attempts last season.
Those are impressive numbers at any level.
He's a senior, 6'1", 185. This is going to be about a 28-yarder. Snap is good, hold is good, kick on its way, and it is good. La Sierra on the board. It's 18-3 Rialto. The Knights, with just about under 30 seconds to work with, will get the ball back on the kickoff, but La Sierra has finally scored. They put together a good drive. Couple of stoppages in play. A false start kind of bogged things down in the Rialto end, but they come up with some points on the field goal by Tyler Wheelwright.
Absolutely. If you look at it on both sides now, they both have been dogged by false starts or legal motion penalties offensively, which have stopped them from really getting in the rhythm, or Rialto sustaining that rhythm to maybe punch in another score.
So now the Knights will have an opportunity to answer unless they just take a knee and go to halftime. But we'll have to see after this kickoff. Tyler Wheelwright, after making the field goal and putting the Eagles on the board, goes out there for the kickoff. And guess who's running in on the kickoff team? That's Bryce Poppy. So Bryce Poppy, who went down on the sack, a third down sack towards the end of that last drive, appears to be okay as he's in on the kickoff team here.
Could be the hands team looking to get an onside kick in.
Tyler Wheelwright to kick it off. Bryce Poppy playing the number 2 position on the near side.
Looks like we can have an onside kick.
Quarterback for the Eagles. And it is going to be put into the second level for Rialto, but it's out of bounds. Kicked it just a little too far, did Wheelwright, and it does look like La Sierra was going for the onside kick with about 29 seconds left here in the second quarter.
Very smart play by number 45 on Rialto by not touching that. Letting it going out of bounds creates a penalty against La Sierra.
So that'll move the ball 5 yards up from when it bounced out of bounds. And looks like Rialto is asking for the re-kick as opposed to the penalty. And a very interesting situation, because if La Sierra wants the onside kick, might as well take what you can get if you're Rialto, take the good field position, but they're going to tell La Sierra to kick it once again, and you got to wonder if Gary Hedlund wants to go back to that onside kick, and it looks like the hands team is still out there for the Eagles.
Now, if he can punch it straight up and they get a running start, there's some seams they can get down there and touch it.
Tyler Wheelwright, a 5-man front for the Eagles. 4 men in the second line for Rialto. And this one's popped up, pooched right over the first line. Loose ball, and it's still loose. Finally falling on top of it for Rialto is Ethan Ulibarri. And that is where the Knights will take over in their own end at about the 36-yard line. And we'll see Navarro one more time.
That was pretty close. They got within a couple yards of what they wanted, but needed somebody to bust one of the seams up there to get closer to where the ball landed.
So Naranjo and the Rialto offense back on the field. See what they do here with 27 seconds. If they want to just take this thing to halftime, or if they want to try to maybe add to their lead, up 18-3. Naranjo, 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Ball on the near hash. From his own 36, hands it off Malik Reed stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he bounces off of it. Turns the corner on the right sideline and got room to run. First down and more. Ball pops out, and La Sierra falls on it at the 34-yard line. So the Eagles, on a wacky play, come up the winners and will get the ball back down 18-3 with 15 seconds left in their own territory at around the 35-yard line.
Just like an onside kick.
It almost worked out just one play later. La Sierra finally gets the ball back, and we'll see what they're going to do here. Bryce Poppy back in on the offense for La Sierra.
I thought they were going to be in some trouble there. The way Reed bounced it outside, he had a seam. He ran the sideline and just didn't have good ball security down the stretch.
So Poppy with a running back to his right. One receiver spread out on each side. Fake handoff, pressure, and this one is aired out. Left sideline, and it falls incomplete. Andre Thomas was in the vicinity. Clock goes down to 10 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if La Sierra just chucks it up a couple more times, sees what they can get before halftime, down 18-3.
Rialto is in that prevent defense. They're in a zone coverage. They have a safety shaded over towards Thomas, so again, in essence, he's double covered every time.
And now a flag flies at a dead period in between the plays, and this looks like it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct going against La Sierra, and that really hurts. Boy, you're trying to go for that Hail Mary, take a shot downfield, and now you got to move back 10, 15 yards. The referee walking it back, going to set the ball at the 20, and this will be a 2nd and 20 for the Eagles.
With all the pressure they've been putting on Poppy and him floating the ball up there, this might not be a good place to put run a Hail Mary.
2nd and 35 from the 20. Got to wonder if Gary Hedlund has kind of changed his mind, if they're just going to let the clock run out. 10 seconds left. Poppy in the shotgun. 2 receivers. Bryce Poppy takes the snap. Hands it off. It's going to go to Julius Hicks.
It looked like he took a fake knee there. He started to go down like he was going to take a knee and then handed it to Hicks as he came through.
Either way, Julius Hicks only picked up about a yard on the play, and that is how we will head to halftime. 18-3 Rialto, 2 touchdowns for Moorfield, and the Knights, with an impressive first half, go into the locker room with a 15-point lead.
Great ball dominance on the Rialto side. Time of possession, unbelievable. I have La Sierra with maybe 6 minutes. 6 minutes on the clock of ball possession because they tried a lot of passes. Passing stops the clock, where Rialto was very varied in their offense. I love when they threw in the option. I love when they threw in the bubble screens. They mixed it up. They spotted La Sierra in a cover 2, and they hit the seam. So very, very impressive first half for Rialto.
Pep Fernandez is down on the sidelines for us with the inside scoop down with the players. Pep, how's it going down there?
Hey, guys, man, it's been an eventful first half, that's for sure. We saw a little bit of a surge by La Sierra here late in the second quarter, and I think you guys have probably pointed out during the live broadcast here that, you know, when the Eagles were running the football, they're having a little bit of success here. The quarterback for the Eagles, Poppy, has been on the run all night long, and that's by design. I was talking to some of the Rialto guys. They really like Rialto's defensive line, and you can see why. They've had Poppy on the run, very little time in the pocket, flushed out of the pocket, always on the move. So Rialto is doing what they want to do up front, and it's not giving Poppy any time to pass. La Sierra's been not effective throwing the football, but you saw right here on this last drive, they were marching down the field. It resulted in a field goal. So on the ground, they're having a little bit of success. We'll see if Gary Hedlund will stick to the ground game as we move into the third quarter here. And it's also worth noting here, you know, the Knights in week 0, they lost to Orange Vista by a score of 39-13. And I talked to some of the coaches down here on the sideline, and they said that's not indicative of what this team's all about. They're looking at this game against La Sierra as a bounce-back game to prove to themselves, to prove to others as well, that that game in week 0 is not going to define this Rialto team going forward. And here they are on the road at La Sierra, and they're up by 15, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, an Eagle quarterback, Bryce Poppy, went down. If we can keep you for a couple extra seconds, Pep. He came out of the game for one play and then was in on the kickoff team. What did you see down there? Is he going to be 100% in the second half?
Yeah, you know what? I think we will see him in the second half, but guys, he's not a real big quarterback. In fact, I was talking to the Rialto athletic director, Kevin Gilbreth, down here. And again, we were talking a lot about the Knights defensive line and all the pressure they were putting on Poppy and getting him collapsing that pocket and putting him on the run. And one of the big defensive linemen for Rialto, great student, in fact, some Ivy League schools are looking at him. Vernon, his name's escaping me right now, but in fact, he had sacked Poppy, and it was the one where Poppy was getting up a little gingerly, and Big Vernon for Rialto actually helped scoop him up off the ground and said, Poppy looked a little bit shaky after that one. We did see him re-enter the game, but obviously taking hit after hit after hit, it's going to mount and add up, especially because he's not a big guy. He's a tall guy, but he's not real thick. So he's taking a lot of abuse back there in the pocket, and that's what Rialto is going to continue to do, make him feel uncomfortable back there and see if they can, put him on the ground.
But Poppy's been really stepping up. He's been a warrior in there. He's stepping up into the rush. And tell you what, Pep, he's getting more pressure than a groom at a shotgun wedding.
That's a lot of pressure right there. And he's feeling, I think, equally as much pressure back there because every single snap, if they're dropping back to throw, you'll see him. He's only got about 2 seconds, and he's got to make a decision. Either it's a quick throw, like step back 1-2, and he releases the football, or if it's longer than that, he's on the move. He's getting out of the pocket. He's running to his right. He's running to his left, just trying to extend the play and make something happen. But again, we saw some effectiveness by La Sierra here running the football. It's only a 15-point game. That's 2 touchdowns, mixing a 2-point conversion. They're back into it, so they've got plenty of time, and we'll see if they go back to the ground game here in the second half.
Awesome stuff, Pep. Thank you so much. Enjoy the second half down there. We'll probably talk to you after the third quarter. Good stuff from Pep Fernandez down on the sideline, embedded with both teams. It is 18-3 halftime at Zach Erb Stadium, Rialto and La Sierra. And Tim, you had the chance to catch up with Gary Hedlund before this game. We'll take a quick listen to that interview. You're listening to Inland Sports Radio right here on the Inland Sports YouTube channel.
This is Tim Hatch here from Inland Sports, sitting here with Coach Gary Hedlund of the La Sierra Eagles. La Sierra coming off a league co-championship, and with a lot of guys coming back. They're pretty loaded, if you ask me. Coach, you've reached a level of success. How do you take that next step and avoid complacency or satisfaction?
I think last year's seniors, they did an incredible job getting us to where we were able to get to. When in the first 3 years that they were in high school, they won a combined 3 games. In our preseason schedule last year, they won 3 games, and then we won 3 more in league. And that was an unbelievable accomplishment for that team. They worked extremely hard to get where they were, and they have built a foundation. It's still the pinned tweet on the football Twitter page is, a season that no one expected, and a team that can't be forgotten. So they built something, but I think every single one of us wanted more even last year. Even last year, we go into the last game or last night of the season. If things just go chalk, we're going to the playoffs and we've accomplished something that nobody thought could happen. Now, in a weird twist of fate, we end up becoming a co-league champion, which is a great accomplishment. It goes up on the wall and it's there forever. But I think that team wanted more. That team wanted more. That team wanted a chance to play in the playoffs, and that was taken away by a loss of a coin flip. And so that has burned in us the entire offseason. It is something that has driven our returning players. And then the freshmen that are now sophomores, they don't know anything else. They don't know anything. They don't look at us as old La Sierra that we were when we were 2-8. They look at us as the defending co-league champions, and what you have to do in order to maintain that and improve upon that. It starts in the weight room, and it's continued out on the field, and it's a burning desire to get more.
You and your staff have done a tremendous job demonstrating commitment and its rewards to your players. How does this affect your family life, your family?
My family. I have the most wonderful, beautiful, supportive wife. We've been together for 14 years since 8th grade, straight through, and she has been the most incredible rock for me through my entire career, whether playing or coaching. She's given me the most beautiful son. He'll actually be 1 year old the night we play Rialto. It's his first birthday. And she is my family. That is my family. And she is an educator as well. And she understands that what we're doing makes a huge difference in the youth. And that our football program is a guiding light for some of these kids that don't have a lot of other positives. And she believes in that, and she believes in me, and she believes in the staff. And so even though sometimes she does miss me, and I miss her too, and no, I miss my son, but she understands that what we're doing is making a difference, and I couldn't do that without her support.
Awesome. Is your family part of the football family, or is it vice versa?
I think it's all one. I think that it is. There is no other way to look outside of it. These players, I have one girl who is, I think, probably has to be the only, or one of the only girls who's played for every single year of her high school career, freshman through senior year. Played varsity as a junior, recovered an onside kick. So when all the players, men and women, that are a part of this, young men and women that we're trying to build, we're all one family. And they know my mother. She's on the sidelines taking pictures. They know my brothers. They're now assistant coaches on the staff. They know my dad. He was here the first 2 years and is around from time to time. And they know my wife. And my son was only probably a few weeks old the first time he met the team. So it's the only thing that he knows. And we're one big family, and we're trying to continue to grow and reach new heights together.
Coach, it's really refreshing to talk to a coach that cares sincerely, and that's written on your face. It's in your words. It's not anything fake, and I love that about you, Coach. And good luck tonight, and good luck the rest of the season. And we'll be watching for you in the playoffs because you got a load coming back.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome stuff for the skipper of the Eagles, Gary Hedlund, as Tim Hatch caught up with him earlier this week. We also have an exclusive interview with Murrieta Mesa's coach, which will come up on Saturday. Be sure to join us for that one. Etiwanda taking on Mesa right here on the Inland Sports Channel as we go through our first of 9 games that we'll have live on the Inland Sports Channel. Mesa and Etiwanda coming up next. Right here at Zach Erb Stadium, it's Norte Vista hosting the game between La Sierra and Rialto. And the Knights all over the Eagles, 18-3 the score at halftime. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk Week 0 scores. We'll talk first half analysis. Maybe go back down to the sidelines to Pep Fernandez. We'll see as we get you set for the second half here on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Rialto 18, La Sierra 3. More football coming at you after this. Once again in the press box at Zach Erb Stadium, Rialto 18, La Sierra 3. And Tim, what a first half we saw. Mostly Rialto, and then at the end, La Sierra's offense decided to show up, got some points on the board.
Yeah, Rialto was very impressive, both offensively, defensively. They mixed it up. Defensively mixing up coverages. They mixed up man coverage where they pressed up on the receivers, and then when they saw Andre Thomas was really bothering them, they went into a cover 2, and essentially they double covered him. They had a safety roll over the top and had him covered on the inside with a corner. But then La Sierra figured it out, went back to the run game. They got into a rhythm, and they started pounding it down the stretch, and then had a couple unfortunate penalty and clock stoppages kind of hurt their momentum. But La Sierra is a veteran group. You have a veteran quarterback. You have veteran skill position guys, and I fully expect them to come back and answer the bell this time. But Cullen Rialto sure came out impressively. That first drive, just marched it down the field, a 5-minute drive, and then they turned around and came back with another 3-minute drive. And they're offensively, they've been just as impressive. They'll mix in the option look with a spread offense, and then hand it to Moorfield, who has been Jamal Moorfield. Wow. Both sides of the ball. I just keep coming back to that play where Lassier started to march a little bit, and then they were in a 3-man front, and Moorfield blitzed right from the middle linebacker, and he deflected the pass. And so, I mean, something doesn't show up in the numbers like a touchdown or whatever, but he's always in the play. He's a very impressive young man.
Tonight's game being presented by Spoiled. The next time you need your oil change, check out Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change on Alessandro Boulevard in Riverside, just off the 215 freeway. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Maybe you'll get 2 mints like Tim Hatch. Go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram as well. Since 1976, Ken's Sporting Goods has been the #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire. They can also do uniforms for your entire team or your business, and of course, they do Letterman's jackets. Go ahead and check out Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco and visit them online at kensportinggoods.com. Catalano Motors in Corona. If you're in the market to purchase a car, truck, or SUV, make Catalano Motors in Corona your first stop. They have weekly specials, so you're going to save thousands of dollars. Mention the Inland Sports Show and get $500 off. That's Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. And visit them online at catalanocars.com. Boost Performance Training. Athletes from all sports and all levels are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Check out their strength and speed classes and become the explosive, dynamic athlete you always dreamed of. Follow Boost on Twitter and Instagram and visit them online at boosttrainingsystems.com. That's Boost Performance Training. And Tim Hatch, Etiwanda, Murrieta Mesa, you and I will be on the call on Saturday. What can we look forward to in that matchup?
Coach Darryl Turner has the Mesa program on the rise. They made it to the semis last year, and it's never happened before in the program history. So there is a level of excitement on campus that is pretty cool to see. They have an impressive stadium, and he's trying to get everybody out to that game possible with free admissions and having us out there. And Coach Turner is ready to rock and roll, and get them to move up to that next level. This will be their opener. This will be their home opener. I believe it's Etiwanda's also. Not positive, but Etowanda is a good opener for them. It's a tough team, but just the excitement from Coach Turner when you sit down and talk to him is very, very palpable.
Well, Etiwanda, we are in week 1. The Eagles of Etiwanda played in week 0 against Summit. That was a 34-0 win against a pretty good Summit Skyhawk team. So Etiwanda, with that momentum that they'll be riding, and Murrieta Mesa with the first game jitters, it's going to be a great matchup no matter how we go. And once again, we mentioned this in our pregame show that we did for YouTube with Pep Fernandez. Murrieta Mesa with a banner season last year. CIF semifinalists, they kind of just burst onto the scene and kind of put their name on the map in last season. And now they've got a chance against an established program like Etiwanda to really make a name for themselves in this season in week 1 against the Eagles, and we'll have it right here on the Inland Sports Channel on Saturday. A couple other notable scores from this week 0. San Gorgonio, a San Bernardino team, beating Rubidoux 50-28. And then, of course, La Sierra, which we talked about, a 27-16 win over San Bernardino, a big win for them in week 0. Tahquitz, a 31-14 win over Vista del Lago. Of course, the Centennial score, everyone keeping an eye on that one as they defeated Chandler in a big game of ranked opponents over at San Bernardino Valley College. They had a 35-13 win for the Huskies and the Evil Empire over there at Centennial High School. Roosevelt beating Rancho Cucamonga 18-14. And the Roosevelt Mustangs with Mike Leach at the helm with a big statement win over a very good Rancho Cucamonga team.
That's setting up quite a league there, because I also see that Santiago beat Murrieta Valley. Very impressive. And Norco, always impressive in that league. Maybe Centennial will have some challengers this year, some competition for that crown.
Well, and we've talked about this before, but the Big 8 League, Centennial has been the big dogs for so long. With this new playoff format, however, if these teams like Santiago, Roosevelt, and Norco can get into the playoffs in their division by finishing second or third in the Big 8 League, they can really make some damage deep in the playoffs in their
Absolutely.
division. And I'm looking especially at the Sharks over at Santiago with a statement win over Murrieta Valley, 42-27. And last year they opened the season with Murrieta Valley, and it was kind of a shocker win on a last-second fluke touchdown. And Santiago's season didn't quite live up to the hype. This year, a big season for the Sharks, 42-27, a much more emphatic victory over Murrieta Valley in Game 1.
You know, if you're Centennial, you have to think, how do they get non-league games? Who in the area would want to step up and play them non-league? They have to go out of the area. So they're going out to play in Arizona, Chandler, Arizona. I know they've gone out to IMG down in Florida to play games. And, you know, they're kind of a victim of their own success, if you think about it.
Right, and Centennial has a travel policy that means when they travel, everybody travels. The freshmen, the JV guys, everybody travels, and so they don't do a whole lot of traveling. Teams are willing, however, to come here and try to take on the Evil Empire here in the Inland Empire. And Norco faced an Arizona team as well. Williams Field came into town, and the Norco Cougars with a 49-21 win over that team from the AZ. So Rialto will kick off. La Sierra's offense will get things going here in the second half. 18-3 is the score as we get things going once again on the Inland Sports Channel. Once again, thank you so much for listening to us. We'll be back on Saturday. Don't forget, tomorrow night over on IEMG, our good friends at the Inland Empire Media Group, we'll have Sports Weekly Live for you at 11 p.m. Pep Fernandez hosts, and we'll get you caught up on all the action from Week 1, including probably some highlights from this game as well. La Sierra set to receive. Andre Thomas back deep for the Eagles. So much potential, a good burst for him, and he could get La Sierra going early on in this second half. Down by 15 in this one. On to kick things off. Estrada for Rialto. 2 returners deep for La Sierra.
And I think what we're going to see here, one of these halftime talks that Coach Hedlund probably gave him was he probably took him to the woodshed and let him know, we want to step to that next level. We got to come out a little stronger.
Well, we've talked about this so much with La Sierra, a team that's right on the edge, looking to turn the corner, make the playoffs for the first time in almost 4 years now as Andre Thomas scoops this one up near his own goal line. Slipping as he tried to make a cut at the 15. He's finally brought down by a slew of white uniforms. Near the 15 is Andre Thomas. And that is where the La Sierra offense will start. And we talked to Pep Fernandez about this before the break. Bryce Poppy a bit shaken up on a sack late in the first half. He's going to head back out there to play quarterback for the Eagles. They move right to left across your radio dial, headed towards the end zone on the non-scoreboard side of things at Sack Erb Stadium.
So let's see if La Sierra is ready to come out and make a statement. Go back to that run game that got him some success, got him some momentum. Go back to that early mix that they had, kind of a 50-50 split run-pass. And see if they can establish themselves.
Poppy in the shotgun per usual. He's got a wing back to his left, and that's the strength of the formation. Hands it off. It's Lamar Gaines who gets it on the first carry of the second half, and he's brought down for the loss of 2 as he tried to gain the corner on the left side, now near the 10-yard line. Good tackle made by Rialto. Leading the way, Anthony Salcedo, and he's been in on a couple of big plays already for Rialto and putting his nose in right here to start off the second half.
La Sierra's trying to pull big Seth Morgan out there and lead the way like they did in that last drive coming down the stretch in the second quarter, but Rialto sniffed that out, and they jumped that play quickly.
From the 11-yard line, it's 2nd and 13, a loss of 3 on the first play for La Sierra. One wing back to the right of Poppy. He's got 2 receivers to the short side on the left sideline. He's going to throw. Poppy feeling the pressure early, steps up. Now he's got room to throw, and he's going to tuck it and run. Stood up at the 14-yard line, and Bryce Poppy brought down a big tackle for Rialto. And leading the way was Paul Verdeen for Rialto.
At 6'2", 240 pounds, and Poppy's listed at a generous 155. It might behoove him to get outside a little bit and maybe get to that sideline rather than take on that guy that outweighs him by 100 pounds.
Well, Bryce Poppy made the first 2 rushers miss, bought a little extra time. Couldn't find anybody, and you got to credit the Rialto secondary for keeping Poppy from throwing that ball, and he had to tuck it and run, and they had good contain on him. And now a 3rd and long, double sticks for La Sierra. 2 receivers to Poppy's left. He looks that way. Now Coxon throws that way, and he's just unable to connect with his favorite receiver, Andre Thomas, running the post corner out near the 30-yard line, and a quick 3-and-out coming for the Eagles as they'll probably send the punt team out there. And Rialto's defense coming out firing here in the second half.
They're matching up Thomas with number 4, Reed. And Reed is doing a great job. Athletically, he's a little bigger, and he can muscle him off the line. But speed-wise, he's staying with Thomas and doing a very credible job.
La Sierra built a little bit of momentum at the end of the first half. They get a field goal. They get on the board. It's 18-3 now in favor of Rialto, and you wanted to see them come out and get the ball in the second half and build on that momentum. And again, a 3-and-out for them to start off this second half.
So an under 2-minute possession.
Wheelwright boots it away. Lands near midfield. Moorfield scoops it up, and now he stiff arms a man down the right sideline. He's got room to run, and it pushed out of bounds near the goal line is Sean McKenzie.
Now, he made a great initial move. When he first scooped up the ball, he was heading down the middle of the field, and he gave a little shimmy to the middle and then scooted outside. For a bigger guy, he's also got some good speed on him.
So Sean McKenzie, great field position for the Rialto offense down inside of the 5-yard line. And McKenzie, who looks an awful lot like Moorfield build-wise, he's a big guy, shows a lot of speed on the kick return, catches it on one bounce near midfield, and then just hits the seam quickly.
Last year, very fortunate he didn't go all the way with that. Oh, he did go all the way.
Now Rialto on for the extra point. I think the referees are going to say that was a touchdown for McKenzie. So McKenzie into the end zone, the late call from the referees. And now Rialto rolls out a new kicker, moving away from Estrada. And the left-footed number 10 on to try to attempt the extra point, and once again it's blocked. Twice they've tried to kick the extra point, and twice it's been blocked by La Sierra. But another touchdown, this one on the punt return by Sean McKenzie, and Rialto extends their lead to 24-3, and now La Sierra's offense is really feeling a sense of urgency to try to get things back in order. And I think if you're McKenzie, that return is a big turning point for Rialto. They had trouble finishing games late last season. And now here to start off the second half with a lead. They show no signs of taking their foot off the gas pedal. And Rialto will kick it away.
What a punch to the gut for La Sierra. Probably coming out after a fiery halftime speech, ready to step up and make a statement. Instead, they go under a 2-minute possession and then a punt return for a touchdown. Bam. Now let's see what La Sierra's got.
And a wacky touchdown at that. Andre Thomas with the return. He finds a seam up the near sideline. He's still on his feet, staying in bounds across the 50. It's a foot race to the 30, 20. Andre Thomas putting on the afterburners into the end zone. Touchdown. Punt return touchdown for Sean McKenzie. And Andre Thomas answers, no flags. And the La Sierra offense doesn't get a touchdown. It's the special teams that does it and puts them on the board with their first touchdown of the game. And now it is 24-9 Rialto. Andre Thomas is a guy we've been talking about all game long. He's a weapon. Find a way to put the ball in his hands. You put him back there as a kick returner. He makes some magic happen. And now it's a manageable 15-point deficit for the La Sierra Eagles. Could be 14 if they were able to put this extra point in, and they're going to go for 2, it looks like. Bryce Poppy out there with the offense.
So there you go. Rialto's been trying to kick away from him, a squib kick at him, and he catches that on the bounce, finds a seam like a rocket, just like that. Bam, he turned it around. What an incredible run. Andre Thomas.
And it does look like Tyler Wheelwright is going to head out there to kick the extra point. If this is good, it's a 2-touchdown, 14-point game after it's been all Rialto all evening. And that extra point is good. It's 24-10 Rialto. And what a turning point. Andre Thomas coming right on the heels of a very wacky punt return touchdown that was called a touchdown late. Andre Thomas brings it right back. A very long kick return touchdown, and the Eagles are right back in this thing. We've got ourselves a ball game here at Zach Erb Stadium.
Time of possession? Who needs time of possession? Give it to Andre Thomas, and he's gone. That was a 6-second time of possession right there. But what an incredible run.
Now, Andre Thomas, with 11 touchdowns last season, has 3 already through La Sierra's first 2 games, on pace to have another standout season. He's a 4-year varsity starter for Gary Hedlund, has been a go-to guy since Hedlund got to the program.
Thomas, his feet are a weapon. He's not a big guy, and that's the thing about La Sierra skill guys. None of them are big guys. When you look at the absolute opposite on the Rialto side, you've got Fireplug, Moorfield, 5'7", 220, the bus carrying the ball. On this side, you got the Rocket who just takes off. So wearing him down this way and the other way, just blasting right through him. This is going to be a fun second half.
So La Sierra's Tyler Wheelwright, after nailing the extra point, will kick things away. And Rialto, after a punt return touchdown, looking for a little more special teams magic to try to rebuild that lead. Now up 14 on the Eagles, 24-10. Early here in the second half, we got 9:41 to go in quarter number 3. Wheelwright set to kick it away. And it's going to be an onside kick. One bounce. La Sierra gets there. The ball is on the ground, and it looks like Rialto is able to recover it. Boy, La Sierra with a real good onside kick from Tyler Wheelwright, just unable to get there with the right side of their kickoff team.
Great execution on that kick. He bounced it. Now, if it's a kick in the air, the receiver could call for a fair catch, and then you got to leave him alone. But he bounced that, and as the receiver reached up to get it, they pounded him, knocking the ball loose, and just quite didn't get there.
From the 45-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Rialto offense. First time we've seen them in this half. Naranjo out there for Rialto with 2 running backs with him in the backfield. First play, give it to McKenzie, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard falling forward. It'll be 2nd and 9 now from the 46. So McKenzie, who had the punt return touchdown, now getting a little more playing time on offense, and you got to think he earned that with that punt return touchdown.
Absolutely. Great initial surge by the interior line led by number 77, Seth Morgan, for La Sierra, who's a force in the middle at 295 pounds.
I talked to Gary Hedlund about who maybe some of his staple players are, and Seth Morgan was one of the guys he pointed to.
Need Seth to come up big right here, help stuff up that run.
Naranjo handoff, trying to bounce it outside for Rialto is McKenzie. Gets down to the 40-yard line before being tackled out of bounds, and a big hit made by Sergio Perez, and now a flag down.
Coming in late.
A little extracurricular activity on the La Sierra sideline. You got to wonder who this goes against. And it could be Sergio Perez on the tackle near the sideline, but a good run nonetheless for Sean McKenzie, who has shown some spark offensively for Rialto. We saw him hardly at all in the first half.
He's got great feet. He bounced that outside. He saw things were stuffed up, bounced outside, and had the speed to get outside and get ahead of the play.
And it looks like this penalty is going to go against Rialto, and I'm not sure if that's holding or not. But if it is, that's a big bummer for Robert Mitchell because that's a discipline issue. And it looks like it's going to be 2nd and 5 from the 50-yard line, which tells me that it's going to be holding because the play doesn't count. So 2nd and 5. Play action. Naranjo going to keep it as he rolls out. Makes one man miss. Got the first down to the 35-yard line into La Sierra territory, and a real good move from Naranjo. Showing off a little shake and bake.
I don't think that was a design play. I think that was his read. He went back to pass and saw a seam and just tucked it and took off. It was a great run.
La Sierra player down behind the play. First down for Rialto. 35-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10, and the Knights offense hasn't missed a beat after halftime. 24-10 in favor of the Knights. Just under 8.5 to play in the third quarter. Tomorrow night, a couple of good matchups in the Inland Empire as well, and one that I'm keeping a close eye on, Centennial Orange Lutheran. And Orange Lutheran coming out of Orange County, beat up on our IE teams a little bit last year, but they never had to face Matt Logan and Centennial. Now this year they're going to come to the IE, and instead of facing Heritage, who's a real good team, they face Centennial, who's a perennial Division I Open Division semifinalist. And we'll see what happens. Two very good teams. Orange County, IE, that's been a rivalry for a long time. And Matt Logan will have a chance to pit his, what he says is one of his best defenses up against Orange Lutheran.
If it's one of his best defenses, that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a step up for Orange Lutheran. Heritage knows no slouch, but Centennial is Centennial.
Naranjo in the shotgun. We're set to go again, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Running back to either side of Naranjo, and he's going to keep it himself off the fake to Moorfield. Right up the middle on the quarterback draw. Naranjo gets a gain of 4 out to the 31-yard line of La Sierra. And a good first down quarterback draw for Naranjo.
So in that time, Rialto set up in the old wing T look with a fake, and then it was going to turn into possibly an option. But Naranjo just read it and took it up the gap.
Another player down for La Sierra. A couple of injuries already in this game have hurt the Eagles. Lamar Gaines was out for a bit. He's still sitting on the bench, but with his helmet and shoulder pads on. Another game I'm looking at tomorrow, Citrus Valley and Kurt Bruick returning to the sidelines for the Citrus Valley Blackhawks.
That's going to be a pretty good pickup for Citrus Valley. That area is just a hotbed for football. There's so many athletes out there, and with him stepping up at Citrus Valley, only good things are going to happen. It's going to make that area even more competitive in football.
Now La Sierra has dealt with some injuries all evening long. Bryce Poppy got a little shaken up at the end of the first half, and now the defensive line getting a little bit more depleted here in a good drive for Rialto, and now a 2nd and 6 from the 31-yard line for the night offense.
If La Sierra is going to make a run, it's going to happen on the defensive side. They're going to have to get some stops. And right now, Rialto is just really ahead of the curve as far as La Sierra guessing and what they're running. They go wing T, they go pro set. Now they run a straight I with a pro set or offset receivers.
They got trips now to the left side. They're going to move the running back to the right of Naranjo. Fake the give to Moorfield. Naranjo keeps it again. This time, the La Sierra defense sniffs it out and stops him after a gain of 1.
That's about the third straight possession that he's carried the ball. The quarterback, I wonder if they spotted something that they're trying to exploit. Using Moorfield more as a decoy this time. Maybe Moorfield's just tired because he's carrying the ball a lot and, playing both sides.
They bring McKenzie back in to play behind Naranjo. Again, 3rd and 6 from the 31-yard line. So La Sierra defense with a big play here. Handoff goes to McKenzie, and they stop him in the backfield. As La Sierra got in there, a good push up front for La Sierra. Gary Hedlund thinks he has a real good interior, both offensively and defensively, and they come up big there.
That was huge because McKenzie never had a chance to get his feet set. As soon as he got the ball, the push from the defensive side picked him up, and he had no chance to make a play on that.
4th and 9 now from the 34-yard line of La Sierra. Definitely 4-down territory. They're going to go trips to the right side, and that's the far side for the Knights. Play clock winding down. Naranjo gets the final instructions from the sidelines. Got a straight eye with a running back behind him. That's McKenzie. Drops back to throw. Looks right, throws right, and comes up about 3 yards short of the intended target. Number 35, Olabari, who's seen some good time out of the backfield for Rialto. And now a turnover on downs as the Eagles will take over.
I think if La Sierra can keep Rialto in obvious passing downs, it's not their strength to go into a straight drop back, traditional passing offense. They did a nice job there, pressuring him a little bit. He went into a pocket and came up short on the throw. Here we go. La Sierra answered. They stepped up. Now let's see what we can do.
Andre Thomas gives you the spark on special teams. Now it's a chance to get some offensive productivity out of Bryce Poppy and the Eagle offense from their own 34-yard line. First play is a handoff. Getting the edge at the left sideline for La Sierra is the running back Hicks. He stays in bounds, makes a man miss, and it takes 4 Rialto defenders to bring him down. And what a first play for La Sierra into Rialto territory and down to the 41-yard line. Julius Hicks, who had 18 carries for 35 yards in week 0, along with a 53-yard reception, comes up big to start the second half for the La Sierra offense.
That's the kind of run that will inspire a team. He was stopped a couple times, and he kept pumping away, and he turns it into a long first down run.
1st and 10 from the Rialto 42. 5:41 to play in the third quarter. Bryce Poppy in the backfield with Julius Hicks again. He's got Andre Thomas to his left. They'll give it to Hicks one more time. Why not? Off tackle, there's a hole. Puts his hand down, stays on his feet. That's first down yardage, but there's a flag down. As he got inside of the 35, Julius Hicks did.
They're pulling Seth Morgan and leading the way through the hole, and you see that Hicks is just hooked on his back right there and just on his hip and just following him right out of his hip pocket and just reading the blocks.
In the same way that we said you got to give your best athletes the ball, you got to give your best offensive lineman the plays. You got to run his way. You got to pull Seth Morgan and put him out in front of a play like they did there, and unfortunately a penalty against La Sierra going to move him back. And it's going to be a holding, but I think it's a spot foul, which means net-wise it's only about a 4-yard penalty. Now from the 46, the La Sierra offense with yet another first down.
It's just something you can't have happen if you're trying to make a drive to establish some momentum.
Poppy in the shotgun going to throw. Screen pass to Thomas. He's got room to run. He gets a block. Cuts it back 30, 20. Finally dragged down at the 20-yard line. And Andre Thomas still turning his feet. Did the ball get taken away by Rialto, or was the play blown dead? Still no whistle. And I think the Knights may have come away with a fumble there.
No
and a play
yet.
that we thought was blown dead long before then, as Andre Thomas was brought to a complete stop at the 20-yard line. Rialto comes away with the football, and the referees are signaling that the Knights have the ball, and what a turn of events for the Rialto Knights. Andre Thomas picked up a big chunk of yardage on the screen pass. We thought for sure the play had been blown dead, as he had been stopped for a good few seconds at the 20-yard line. Rialto took the ball away, and they took advantage of the situation, playing all the way till they hear the whistle.
Thomas actually ran out of his shoe. He finished that run on one shoe, and that should have been a stop play there, but now it's Rialto ball.
Well, Rialto takes advantage of the situation. Naranjo with a handoff, and this should be a false start going against the Knights on the first play of this drive. Starting from their own 34-yard line, they'll move back to their own 29.
Thomas, a Warrior, was not going down, so there was a pileup there at the end of the play, and I guess one of the Rialto guys just wrestled the ball from him.
Just a couple of wacky plays here in the second half already. McKenzie returns a punt. It appears to the entire stadium that he stepped out of bounds inside of the 5-yard line. A very late call by the referees, signal a touchdown. And then there, a play that appeared to be stopped at the 20-yard line. Rialto not giving up on the play. They end up with a takeaway, and now a 1st and 15 from their own 29 off of the false start. Naranjo, shotgun look, handoff. This is going to go to McKenzie, and he's got room up the right sideline, steps out of bounds. That's actually Moorfield who gets it out of the backfield near the first down.
The two are very hard to tell apart as they come out of the handoff there out of the backfield. Number 2 and number 3, they're built the same. I think McKenzie might be just a tad quicker with his feet, but both of them run hard.
And what a blessing for Robert Mitchell to have two running backs that can move like that and have that size. And I guarantee you that La Sierra knew that coming into this matchup and had to prepare for having two potent offensive weapons out of the backfield. As Moorfield checks out of the game, Reed is in for a little bit more speed for Rialto. And they're going to give it to him as he tries to get the edge. Flag is down. Reed has first down yardage, steps out of bounds on the far sideline out near midfield. But there is some yellow laundry on the turf here at Zach Erb Stadium. We'll see what that's all about.
So 3 backs he can throw out there that can get the edge and turn the corner. Reed, McKenzie, and Moorfield. But coming back anyway.
Another false start against Rialto, and like you said, when you're trying to get a drive going, those penalties really do hurt you. Here in the third quarter with 4:45 to play, it is 24-10 Rialto. And La Sierra finally getting their first touchdown of the game on an Andre Thomas kickoff return.
This is kind of character building time right here with La Sierra. We know they have a veteran group, and we know that call kind of went against them a few minutes ago with the Thomas fumble or takeaway, and now their defense has to make a stand. But Rialto's helping them with these penalties.
2nd and 9 now from their own 34-yard line. Play action, quick pop pass, and it's just off of the hands. Intended for Richard Macias. Just couldn't come up with it on the little go route up the seam.
So
and it's 3rd and 9.
They tried the quick pop pass to catch the seam in the cover 2. And the pass was there, but I think he rushed it a little bit, threw it high, and he's lucky he didn't get his head taken off by a defensive back there. He's really lucky to get intercepted because it got popped up into the air.
3rd and 9 from the 34-yard line. One more time for the Rialto offense. Naranjo looks to the sideline, gets the final instructions. He's got 2 running backs flanking him in the backfield, 1 receiver out to each side. Now they motion a man down, and that's Moorfield. This will be a pass play. A bootleg rolling to his right as Naranjo is going to tuck it and keep it himself. He's got the first down and more. Flag down again as he is brought down at the 49-yard line by Bryce Poppy, the quarterback, playing some defense for La Sierra. But another flag down, and it's in the vicinity of holding, and that's what it's going to be against Rialto. Again, a penalty hurts him on a big play, and the holding actually going against Moorfield, trying to run lead blocker on the rollout for the quarterback Naranjo.
So he ran a play action with the fake to Moorfield, and he got out in front of the play, and then once Naranjo tucked it in, Moorfield got his hands outside the shoulder pads. So that's a big no-no for a running back, especially anybody blocking. You can't get your hands outside those shoulder pads. So that's a big holding call.
Now timeout called by Robert Mitchell, and he wants to talk to his guys about these sloppy penalties. They've had some good plays, but they've all been negated by some sloppy penalties here early in this drive. In Rialto now working with just a 14-point lead, which sounds a lot worse than 18-3 like it was at halftime.
Now, I think if we look at the numbers like the time of possession, et cetera, that literally, or as Jeff Gorham would say, literally, Rialto has been pushing La Sierra all around the field. But with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, they're only down 2 scores. So La Sierra's got to be happy about where they are at this point, still being in the game.
Well, Tim, I like the way you worked Jeff Gorham into the broadcast. He's not here. He doesn't show up for work like he's supposed to, and yet you give him the shout-out because you're the good guy that you are, Tim, and I appreciate it. Using a Jeff Gorhamism here. 24-10, 4:33 to go here in the third quarter. And La Sierra's defense gets yet another chance to stop Rialto pinned in their own territory. And they've been gifted all these chances because of penalties by the Knights. And now a 3rd and long, double sticks for Rialto. We'll see what they do here. Naranjo hasn't had a ton of success trying to air the ball out here, but he's got doubles, 2 receivers on each side, and Moorfield in the backfield with him. Shotgun set. Snap to Naranjo. He's going to pass it. Has a little bit of time. Rolls to his left and buys more time. Now he tucks it and runs. Crosses the first down marker and midfield, and Naranjo comes up with a big play using his feet on the design pass. Gets into La Sierra territory down to the 45-yard line, it looks like, for Naranjo.
And this is nothing against Naranjo. I was just about to say, in an obvious passing situation, his best weapon has been his feet.
And it really has, and that's the second time he's picked up a first down in long yardage, 3rd down situation. Although the first time it was called back due to penalty, that's a clean play for Rialto, and they can hang their hat on that play for sure. 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line in La Sierra territory. Handoff goes to Moorfield. He cuts it outside. Right sideline 30. He's got room to run 20. Finally brought down inside of the 20. For La Sierra, it's Bryce Poppy who comes up with the play, running last line of defense for the Eagles.
That was a great tackle. You got a guy bearing down at you at 220 pounds, and there's Poppy at 150. And he broke him down and tackled him low. And you can see Moorfield was bracing for that. But that was a great touchdown-saving tackle by Poppy.
Not till after Moorfield picks up a good chunk of yardage. 18-yard line, 1st and 10 for Rialto.
Poppy looks like he's a little shaken up after making that tackle.
And with a shorter roster for Gary Hedlund, you have to play your quarterback on defense, and it's kind of a scary situation because you need him to be as healthy as possible on offense when you're trying to make up a 14-run deficit. Handoff to Reed. He was stopped dead to rights in the backfield. Couple other red jerseys come in to help out their teammate. Again, a tackle for a loss for La Sierra, and that's a big play for the Eagles defense here now in the red zone for Rialto.
You know, here in the red zone, if they can make a stand here, I think it's pretty obvious that Rialto's kicking game is not their strength. So a field goal might not be a true option for them. So keeping them out of that red zone area, pushing and holding them here is going to be big for La Sierra.
Big loss for the Rialto offense. 5-yard loss. 2nd and 15 now from the 24. Naranjo. Quarterback draw off the fake. Spin move out of one tackle. First down yardage. He runs through another tackle, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Naranjo builds the Rialto lead to 30.
Rialto's offense right now, it seems like they've really concentrated on Naranjo getting out and running. So they're almost using Moorfield and McKenzie as a decoy at this point. A lot of play action, but off the play action, he's not looking to pass. He's looking to tuck and go. So that was a huge touchdown for the Rialto offense.
30-10. A 2-point conversion attempt for Rialto. Twice they've tried to kick it. Both times it got blocked. Handoff up the middle. Looks like Bryce Poppy was in on the tackle as Rialto stopped short. Reed trying to get into the end zone on the 2-point conversion. No go. And Rialto has yet to get a point after in this game. However, they lead it by 20, 30-10 off the touchdown run by Naranjo. And now Bryce Poppy, who was holding his wrist a little bit earlier, will have to go out there on offense for the Eagles and try to answer now down 20. Here with 2:50 to go in quarter number 3.
So that was a great timeout over there by Coach Mitchell a couple minutes ago on the Rialto side where he told his guys, settle down. We're getting some stupid penalties. Let's have some discipline. And then right after that, they worked their way up the field, and they finished it off with a great run by Naranjo, the quarterback. He had a spin move in there, a little deceptive cross-back over move, and finished up in quite a long run.
If you're Gary Hedlund, do you go to your guy Bryce Poppy here? Because they scored 4 touchdowns against San Bernardino, and Bryce Poppy was in on all 4 of them. He threw for 3 touchdowns, and he rushed for 1 of them. Bryce Poppy is the obvious leader on this offense. You trail by 20, and you need some sort of a spark. Andre Thomas could do it for you on special teams, but you only get so many of those opportunities, and you're hoping you don't have to return kickoffs for the rest of the game. Andre Thomas returned one for a touchdown earlier. He's out there again, and now a timeout called.
I think it's still too early to panic. I know it's only 2:50 left in the third, but if La Sierra goes back to what got them on that last drive, they mixed it up. They went runs to Hicks, and then they ran the screen to Thomas, which he turned upfield in just an unfortunate play where it was not blown dead. He was literally running on one shoe, and the pile was there, and referees just didn't blow it dead. And ball was taken away, and that's a great turning point for Rialto. Now, Rialto has taken advantage of it and turned it into points. And now let's see what kind of answer we got.
Rialto all evening trying to keep the ball away from Andre Thomas on special teams. Squib kicks, pooch kicks. They kicked it to him once, and he made him pay. Now you got to think Robert Mitchell wanted to make sure that his kicker knew not to kick it to Andre Thomas, and that's probably why he called that timeout there.
Absolutely. Again, their theme before the game, and their players were very, very focused as I walked through the warm-up. It was redemption, and I see that in their style of play today.
Jonathan Aguirre with a deep kick, the opposite returner from Thomas. Gets out to the 20, and that is where the La Sierra offense will take over. A solid return there for Sergio Perez. And from the 19-yard line or 18-yard line, Bryce Poppy and the La Sierra offense will go to work, trailing by 20 points late in the third quarter.
So here, if you're La Sierra, you can't get it all in one play. You can't just get 20 points like that. So, again, work their offense, do what got them, run the plays that got them that last drive where they're mixing it up, run, pass, and they got to get a score out of this. They got to come up with some points.
Bryce Poppy in the shotgun, got a running back to his right. One tight end sets the strength of the formation to the left. Play action, quick throw to Thomas. There's that screenplay again. He's got a little bit of a seam and room to run. Up the left sideline goes Andre Thomas. Foot race, he beats the first man. 30, 20, 10. Andre Thomas in for his second touchdown of the evening, and just like that, it's 30-16 Rialto on the touchdown by Andre Thomas.
Andre Thomas's new name is the Rocket. That guy just explodes when he gets the ball. Andre the Rocket Thomas. And he did it with 2 shoes this time.
Andre Thomas keeps both cleats on. That's the second time he's had a long touchdown, one on the kickoff return, one on the screenplay. And you said it right before that drive. They got to go back to the bread and butter, go back to what worked. The screenplay worked. Unfortunately, there was a fumble at the end, and they went right back to it. Great confidence from Gary Hedlund and his guys going back to Andre Thomas on the play. He holds on to the football, holds on to his cleats, gets into the end zone, and now, barring the extra point, this could be a 13-point game.
Mr. Automatic on the kick.
Tyler Wheelwright, who we mentioned earlier, 36 for 38 on PATs last season. A little bit of a low snap, gets it up and through, and Tyler Wheelwright makes this a 13-point ball game, 30-17 Rialto. And how important are extra points for Rialto now? Because they've scored quite a few touchdowns, haven't been able to get any points after 2-point conversions or otherwise. And now it's a 13-point game when it feels like it's been all nights, all evening.
That's a great point. With the dominance they've shown without getting those extra points, 2 scores, and La Sierra has shown they don't need time of possession to score. And they just get 2 Mr. Automatic extra points. They got a ball game. They win the game. So let's see now. La Sierra's defense got to stiffen up a little bit.
Naranjo has kind of added another dimension to this Rialto offense, showing that he can run on design pass plays, and that's a whole nother ball game for La Sierra to have to think about defensively, and they could use that in this drive, trying to answer a long touchdown by Andre Thomas.
Now, on the Rialto side, looking at them, learning how to win. We talked about them not making the playoffs for quite a while, although they came close last year. They were 3-2 in their league. They have a lead now with 2 minutes to go, 2-touchdown lead with 2 minutes to go in the third. They've got to show some discipline. They got to run some clock, but they can't just sit on the ball. Got to stay aggressive. So learning how to win is a big component for a team that's trying to reach up to that next level.
Wheelwright drills the extra point, and he's on for the kickoff. A couple of good returners back for Rialto. They had a punt return touchdown earlier in this game. They're going to go pooch kick left side. Caught in the air by number 5. He's going to have to return it, going to the far sideline. Trying to turn the corner now for Rialto. He's got room to run. Still on his feet, down inside of the La Sierra 30 and down to the 25. And it's Raymond Iglesias on a good return. Far sideline for Rialto. And the Knights offense with good field position right after a La Sierra big play. They've done a good job of staying calm and answering all evening long.
Now, the pooch kick there was not the intent of what happened here in the long run. They're trying to kick it away from McKenzie and Moorfield. They ended up with Iglesias, who showed that he can turn a corner too.
Raymond Iglesias has had a quiet evening pretty much all night. Then he catches that pooch kick, which I'm sure he was not expecting to have to catch, and he made something out of it. Went the long way, far sideline, and now real good field position at the 20 for Naranjo and the Rialto offense. Late substitution for Rialto. They've had a couple of legal motion penalties already. It's the tight end coming on late. Handoff up the middle, and a real good tackle made, cutting the legs out from underneath the running back for La Sierra as Moorfield was trying to go up the middle.
Great surge by the offensive line or defensive lineman for La Sierra.
I believe it was Joey Alvarez that got there first.
One of the few times we've seen Moorfield brought down early.
So 2nd and 12 now from the 22-yard line for Rialto. Naranjo can run the ball himself at quarterback, which we found out last drive. 1:25 to go in the third quarter. Tackle for loss for the La Sierra defense. Handoff goes to Moorfield. Right side, gets a block, finds a hole, and he's out inside the 15 of La Sierra, near the first down. Good chunk of yardage and a 10-yard pickup will make it 3rd and 2 from the 12.
And Cullen, he runs so hard. The damage he does every play to La Sierra's defense, it took 4 of them to tackle him that time. So he's got to be wearing out those linebackers.
Under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Rialto's offense on the move yet again, holding a 13-point lead, 30-17 over La Sierra. Naranjo with a receiver on each side, got a running back behind him. That's Moorfield. Naranjo, shotgun. Takes the snap, gives to Moorfield. B gap, first down yardage inside of the 10. Flag down, however, behind the play. Whitecap going to say it's another illegal shift against Rialto.
Rialto's trying to put multiple people in motion, but you can't have more than one person in motion on a play. So it's a timing thing where one guy's not finished his motion before the second guy goes into his, and they've done it several times.
Rialto with a player down, getting attended to by the athletic training staff. Once again, we remind you, Saturday night, Etiwanda and Murrieta Mesa, right back here on the Inland Sports Channel. We'll have pregame for you at 6:50. Tomorrow night, IEMG Sports Weekly Live, 11 p.m. with Pep Fernandez. We'll recap week 1 of the high school football season. A lot of teams getting their first game of the season here in week 1.
Let's go back to that Mesa-Etiwanda game real quickly. Coach Turner at Mesa loves the fact that they got moved up a division. So they got moved up. Cajon got moved up. They're in the same division as Cajon. And he is not intimidated by that at all. And one of the fascinating things about talking to him is he said, we want the challenge. We want a tough non-league schedule. He said too many times in the past, Mesa had gone 5-0 non-league and then 5-5 overall because it's a tough league. But he upgraded their schedule, and he's very excited about moving up divisions because he wants that competition.
Boy, Inland Empire football fans would love to see Murrieta Mesa Cajon in the playoffs. I mean, Jaden Daniels and Darren Jones, nationally recognized athletes, and Murrieta Mesa, CIF semifinalists, would be a great game if we saw those two go head-to-head. We're back to action here at Zach Erb Stadium. A 3rd and long on the holding penalty, and that is the end of the third quarter. And Rialto driving will switch sides. They'll be in the red zone in La Sierra territory, trying to build on this 13-point lead to kick off the fourth quarter now.
So we're at 18-3 halftime. Both teams scored twice. La Sierra chipped into it a little bit more because they had Mr. Automatic kicking the extra points. You called it, though. I believe that if this game gets any closer, those missed extra points by Rialto are going to really come back to haunt them. Now, you got to be impressed with Andre the Rocket Thomas. Every time he touches the ball, he's a danger to go all the way, and that's kind of a cliche statement you make about a lot of receivers and running backs. But he truly is, with one shoe or two, a danger to make a play. Now, there was a guy a few years ago at Michigan State. He played with Irvin Magic Johnson. He got into a national championship game and lost a shoe. And his name forever was Shoes Huffman. Now, we are not going to call Andre Thomas Shoes because he's the Rocket. Now, there is a danger of him scoring every time, but the problem is now La Sierra has to defensively make a stop.
Pep Fernandez on the sideline with a quick update as we get set to begin quarter number 4 and what has kind of become a marathon between these two teams. Pep?
Yeah, guys, I'm fighting down here just to stay awake. We're kind of joking on the sideline. It's taken 2.5 hours to play 3 quarters of football. A ton of penalties in the second quarter, almost equally as much here in the third quarter. This game's really dragging out. But La Sierra looking for a huge defensive stop. I mean, it's a 2-touchdown game with 1 quarter to go. So the Eagles are right there, but this could be a huge defensive series here for La Sierra.
As they get the chains set, Pep Fernandez, couple of injuries, penalties, and this game has moved slowly. And do you think at all that's affected the momentum that La Sierra is trying to do with their balanced offense attack?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, it's always the counter punch. You know, like one team has a great play, the kick return for the touchdown, and then you spin it around and you give up or surrender another big play. So we'll see who can make the biggest stop here.
Naranjo in the shotgun to start things off. Fourth quarter offense for Rialto. Handoff goes up the middle, good chunk of yardage on a 3rd and long. And this is 4-down territory for sure for Rialto.
So that was McKenzie that time. And again, they're hard to tell apart. McKenzie, I think, has a quicker burst. He looks like initially he's quicker off the handoff, but both of them just run downhill incredibly hard.
4th down and medium yardage from the 16-yard line. 4th and 5 for Rialto, and if this isn't the biggest play for the La Sierra defense, I don't know what is.
And the La Sierra crowd rises to its feet, exhorting their team to stop them on defense.
Ronho from the shotgun. This is a handoff here to number 35. He stopped in the backfield. What a play for the Rialto defense. They gave it to Ulibarri, and La Sierra comes up huge. And Rialto will have to go on defense, and La Sierra keeps that 13-point deficit intact with 11:07 to go in the fourth quarter.
Could it be that loud crowd exhorting them to make a stand that made them rise up? It's possible. They probably heard the fans, and they rose up and made a great play. But this also could be Rialto being a little too cute, using Moorfield and McKenzie as a decoy to give to their fullback, and it didn't work out well for him.
Bryce Poppy from the shotgun. Handoff. The flag down and went to Julius Hicks. Not much doing on the play. Wait for the signal from the Whitecap here.
Looks like it's going to be against La Sierra.
Does look like it's going to be an illegal block against La Sierra, a chop block. Moving it back 10 yards. 1st and 20 now for the La Sierra offense. They trail by 13, 11 minutes to play. And you just can't have those penalties when you're trying to start a big drive.
No, you can't. Those are heartbreakers, backbreakers.
Strength of the formation is to the right of Poppy. Takes a snap. Play action rolls to his left. A diving catch made for a gain of about 3. Now the referees are going to say he trapped it against the ground. And that'll be an incomplete pass. Stops the clock, however. 10:53 to play in this one. And a 2nd and 20 coming for La Sierra.
Poppy under pressure again. Rialto's defensive line kind of took a break there because the running game softened them up. They've now stepped back up because it's obvious passing situations due to the penalties.
Well, and Bryce Poppy last year, 1,614 yards for the Eagles. Completed 96 of 152 passes. Play action, throw over the middle. And La Sierra with a couple of guys in the area. Just not a well put together play. Another incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 20.
I think what they were trying to do was use some play action off the runs they've had recently and then hit a seam, but they had 2 receivers in the same area, and it looked like there was some confusion on the route.
3rd and 20. Bryce Poppy heads to the sideline, gets the play. Well, Andre Thomas on a screen pass can do some damage, and we've seen that. And now La Sierra goes trips to the opposite side of Thomas. Poppy looks towards Andre Thomas and airs it out. Thomas running down the sideline. Contact made with the defender. No flag and good defense for Rialto. And that brings up 4th and 20, and you almost have to punt it here if you're Gary Hedlund.
Malik Reed, again, 5'11", 175 pounds. Man-to-man coverage on Thomas. He had him walled off the sideline, so Thomas only had one place to go, and that was inside, and it was just a straight speed route. And Malik Reed has some great speed himself. Did a great job defensively and walled off Thomas.
And that's no easy task for Reed to be assigned one-on-one, no over-the-top help on a 3rd and 20 play. You got to go against Andre Thomas, the best receiver in the River Valley League, one of the best receivers in the area. And Tyler Wheelwright will punt it away from his own goal line. Just got the punt off. Gets it to midfield. One bounce, and it's caught on the run. Rialto coming back the other way. They've had one punt return for a touchdown. They're about to have another one. Goal line, touchdown, Rialto. And what a run back
Malik Reed?
For Malik Reed. He had a big play against Andre Thomas playing defense on the far side. catches that one in the air and takes it to the house. Another punt return touchdown for Rialto. Malik Reed comes up big, and the Knights have extended their lead now 36-17. Still looking for their first point after to be good, but Rialto, a big exclamation point touchdown on the punt return by Malik Reed.
Right now, last year's body language not good. That was a tough one. Talked about a gut punch earlier. That's a big gut punch right there. Now, we'll see what happens with 10.5 to go.
Naranjo, 2 receivers on each side. They'll go for 2. He's got McKenzie behind him. Now rolling out, throws to the right. Diving catch made just inside of the goal line. A good throw from Naranjo. That ball was almost in the dirt, scooped up, and Rialto gets the 2-point conversion and makes it a nice 38-17, a good round number as they get their first 2-point conversion of the evening.
Now we're in a 3-score game. For La Sierra, if they want to be champions, they were co-champs last year, and this year they want to take that co-off, and they really want to become champions. They can't quit playing. Again, you can't get it all back on one play unless you're Andre Thomas and you return a kick. But in general, they got to just grind this out. And they got to see what they got behind the belt buckle. And they got to step up and just not quit playing. Because they want to be champs. They got to start acting like it.
And here's the good news for La Sierra, and you can't say that the non-league matchups don't matter because they do, and CIF rankings are important. And if you don't get a league championship, you need to have a solid non-conference success throughout the season. But when it comes time to play your league opponents, the non-conference record gets thrown out the window. And if you win a league championship, it happens when you're playing league. And that doesn't come till later in the season. If you're La Sierra and your goal is to win a River Valley League championship, you use these moments and these games to teach lessons like not giving up. You're
Absolutely.
down 38-17, and there's a whole lot of time left on that clock. 10.5 minutes to play. Put Bryce Poppy out there, give the ball to Andre Thomas, and see what you can do here. That kick mishandled in the backfield. La Sierra, after making one man miss out near the 30-yard line, will take over there.
And there's some things they could do if they want to. They would like to take advantage of that squib kick at the last second. They could take the back row guy and switch him. They can bring him up as he's kicking, so you get someone like Thomas a chance to get the ball. But that's a whole lot of moving around and a lot of moving parts that they haven't practiced. But again, right here, let's see what they got behind the belt buckle. Let's get a good drive and a score. That's all they can do.
And you've seen the body language change from both teams here as the second half has drug on into the fourth quarter, and especially after that dagger of a touchdown by Malik Reed. And La Sierra a lot slower coming off the sideline. Rialto a lot faster coming off the sideline. They're more engaged, and the momentum is definitely on their side of the field. And now you have things like a guy coming on late as a tight end for La Sierra, which is happening now. Bryce Poppy all by himself in the backfield, and they're going to air it out. Andre Thomas, left sideline. They don't go his way. Instead, they dump it off underneath. Good catch made for a first down there. I believe it was Lamar Gaines able to hold on to the ball as it takes him a while to go down to the ground. A first down for La Sierra out near the 43-yard line.
And Poppy under pressure again. He threw that one with a guy right in his face. Matter of fact, his arm might have come down on the guy's helmet as he finished making that throw.
So La Sierra with a good first play of this drive. Bryce Poppy with the empty set was able to get the completion over the middle.
The danger here for Rialto is they don't want to go into that prevent defense that prevents them from stopping the other team. So they're in a cover 2 zone defense.
It was actually Kyle Diaz who made that catch. Again, empty set. And Bryce Poppy, a design quarterback draw, flagged down behind the play as Poppy picks up 4 yards on a 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. This will be holding against the Eagles, and Bryce Poppy cannot believe it. Very frustrating as a quarterback. Your offensive line, the guys who protect you, the guys who you got to buy lunch on a daily basis just to keep them happy. And those holding penalties really do hurt you as an offense, and they've got to be frustrating for Bryce Poppy right now as he's trying to, in an empty set, kind of single-handedly lead this team back.
Now, those are also not just physical fatigue things. Those are mental fatigue things. Guys are tired. If you look around, you see a lot of chins on chests. You see a lot of heads kind of down. I know it's tough, down 21, but again, weirder things have happened. Comebacks have happened, and you can't get them if you don't try.
Handoff up the middle, new back out of the backfield on a 1st and 20. Luke Noel with his first touch of the evening. He's a senior, 5'9", 170. A third-string running back for La Sierra, getting a touch here late in this game. Clock is now down inside of 9 minutes and 10 seconds to play. 38-17 Rialto. La Sierra now with a 2nd and 20 from their own 32-yard line. Trying to get to the opposite 48 for a first down.
At this point, you want to practice your stuff. You want to make sure you can run it. Nice play.
La Sierra sets up a screen. Dump pass underneath, and now pushing the pile is La Sierra now to the 49-yard line, unless they blew that play dead early. But a good catch for Vincent Serrato, another senior on this roster. And they blew the play dead. Forward progress, they say, was stopped at the 47-yard line.
Now, I'm not disparaging our guys in stripes, but what was the difference in that play and the play earlier with Andre Thomas, who had the ball and was running with 10 guys holding on to him, and they let the ball get stripped. But I'm not down in the field making plays. I'll just make that question rhetorical.
You got to figure that same question's running through Gary Hedlund's mind right now. That's a big play earlier in this game. Bryce Poppy unable to handle the snap on a manageable 3rd and 5. Goes all the way back inside of the La Sierra 40. And they're going to send the punt team out there one more time. It was a 3rd and 5, and now it's a 4th and double sticks for La Sierra.
There's some visible frustration on the sideline here on the La Sierra side. But again, you want to be a champion, you get moments like this, and as you said earlier, they're teachable moments. What did we do? Well, now sit down watching film this week. What did we do here? Why did we do this? What are you looking for there? And you break things down, and you come back next week, and you get at it again.
Just Tyler Wheelwright set to kick it away.
Sorry, just like Rialto did, like last week, using that as motivation to win.
And that's a tough week 0 loss, but you have to keep things in perspective, and Robert Mitchell did a really good job of doing that with his guys, preaching the word redemption. And now a fake punt, and that one almost intercepted for Rialto, and I'm not sure, but I think Stephen Cota was able to hang on to that one with the left hand for the interception, and they do rule that it was an incomplete pass. So it will be a turnover on downs on the fake punt attempt by La Sierra, and it's good to try those things out, but how much of a scouting are you giving opponents here late in the game using your fake punt when you're down 38-17 like this?
That was something you had talked about earlier, though. Remember the setup? You said it the way they had set up, they had 2 guys back, and that it would possibly work out to their favor. But, hey, Coach Hedlund wants to show the guys that he's trying to win. He wants to keep playing, and he's going to pull out all the stops to try and get a W out of this. So the whole bag of tricks is going to come out.
Naranjo with a give to Malik Reed, finds a seam up the middle. Down to about the 32-yard line. Good first down yardage. They took over at the La Sierra 39, so already good field position for Rialto here in the 4th quarter. Under 7 minutes to play in this one, and Rialto may want to slow things down and try to eat up some clock a little bit, which is something they haven't really done yet in this game.
They haven't really needed to. But, again, with Coach Mitchell on the Rialto side, you want to be able to teach your guys how to win, so what they want to do is manage clock.
Now in to play quarterback is Stephen Cota. Takes over for Naranjo. You get a chance to look at your second-string guys. Naranjo moves to receiver. Cota hands it off on the first play. Spin move and trying to work now to the near sideline is Malik Reed. Nothing doing. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage, so no gain. And the marker moves to 3rd down.
A whole nest of Eagles, a veritable slew of Eagles showed up on that play.
Malik Reed on the run. No gain. It'll be 3rd and short in the 33-yard line.
I need to look up what the collective noun is for Eagles.
I believe it's Eagles. But don't quote me on that, Tim. 3rd and short for Rialto. Again, Cota at quarterback. Naranjo playing receiver here on the near side. Ball on the near hash for Rialto. Shotgun set. Cota with 3 receivers to his right. This is a design quarterback run. He'll keep it up the middle. First down inside of the 30 for Rialto.
That was a good finishing tackle there for the La Sierra safety who rolled up on it. It was a little late because it was after the first down, but they're still playing. And credit to the Eagles that they're not stopping. They're not quitting. They're still hanging in there.
First and 10, it's Bryce Poppy who gets carried off the field for La Sierra. Second time he's been shaken up in this one.
Poppy's been playing both sides of the ball. He's been getting beat up on the offensive side. I tell you what, his numbers might not be good today, but he's been a very impressive young man standing in there against the rush that the Knights have put on him.
First and 10 from the 27, 5:10 to play in this game. New quarterback for Rialto, it's Cota. He's been in for a few plays. Naranjo once again moving to receiver. 2 receivers to each side. They spread things out. Running back directly behind Cota, and it is Malik Reed. He had a punt return touchdown just a few plays ago. That was the last touchdown for Rialto to make it 38-17. Cota going to pass for the first time. He's got Naranjo. Instead, he goes over the middle and completes it. A good pass and a good catch. Cota with his first completion of the ball game, and he does find Naranjo over the middle.
So Naranjo moving back to his natural position, because we talked before the game, Coach Mitchell had said that he was a receiver and that they moved him to quarterback, but very good athlete from his design runs earlier. Rialto has some weapons. They've got some guys they can throw out there that can make some difference in games.
And that's so unique to high school football. If you can get guys who are natural at one position to move to a position where they can get the ball more and get them to buy into your system, you really can find some success, like having Naranjo play quarterback. Cota at quarterback right now. Naranjo, I'm sure, enjoying his time back at receiver here late in this game. Cota rolling to his right. He's going to keep it, trying to get the edge. Goal line, flag flies. He's in for the touchdown for the time being, but we'll have to see what the flag is all about, and it is going to be holding against Rialto. So Cota thought he had a first touchdown of the season. Instead, it'll be a 10-yard penalty, and first and goal from about the 20-yard line, I believe.
So Mom and Dad are going to have to stop celebrating. They got excited over there in the stands, the overflow side of the visitors here at Zach Erp Stadium. They're going to have to get back up there and sit down, but pretty excited guy. He had his chance, that first varsity touchdown.
Cota in the shotgun one more time. He's got Moorfield to his left in a spread formation. Doubles, they motion a man across. Then they'll give it on the counter to Moorfield. He's got room to run up the middle. Big contact at the 5. And he gets back all that yardage that they just lost.
Now, I have to say, if I am coaching Rialto, might be time to let Moorfield come to the sideline and rest for a while.
Another flag down against Rialto. It looks like it's going to be another holding penalty. And if it is, that would be devastating for this Rialto offense. A lot of second-team guys in there trying to run the offense. And looks like it's going to be a personal foul against Moorfield. He lowered his shoulder, he lowered his head, and I'm wondering if that's what they ended up getting him for on the end.
Well, I would get him off the field just from the fact that he's their main guy on both sides of the ball with a 21-point lead and 3 minutes to go. Let's get him some rest here, and some well-deserved rest.
Clock ticks down to 3:30. Penalty moves the ball back to the 25-yard line. Cota still at quarterback. He's got Malik Reed to his left and Moorfield behind him. Cota takes the snap, fakes it to Moorfield, cuts back, makes one man miss in the backfield. Then he's pile driven forward for a gain of about 4. Gets to the 20-yard line.
A design quarterback keep on that. Using Moorfield as a decoy.
Well, Rialto, if they were to hang on in this one, as the clock continues to wind down, now under 3 minutes, 2:49 on the clock right now. They'll be able to take some momentum from this one, and they've got a pretty good matchup against the Rubidoux Falcons next week, and that is at Rubidoux. Malik Reed in the backfield along with Moorfield. Naranjo still by himself as the receiver to the wide side of the field. Cota shotgun, motions a man across. Fakes the handoff, now he drops back to pass. Drilled as he released it. And that forces an incomplete pass. Good pressure from the La Sierra defense.
Welcome to varsity, backup quarterback. He got hit pretty hard as he threw. When you throw one of those and you get a finger and a helmet, pretty painful.
2 minutes and 12 seconds left in this game. It's been a long one. Got things started at about 7 o'clock. We're going on 3 hours. A lengthy game between these two. Had lots of offensive firepower on both sides of the ball, especially here in the second half. It was 18-3 at halftime, 38-17 Rialto at the moment here in the fourth quarter. Handoff to Malik Reed on the jet sweep. He's got the edge on the right side. Sideline, turns it up. He's at the pylon. Did he step out of bounds before then? Yes, he did. They'll mark him out at the 5-yard line. So Rialto with a 4th and goal. See what they do here with the second teamers in. Of course, Moorfield, a starter, is still on the field. Coda, the backup quarterback, is behind the center. They go doubles. Ball on the right hash. They give it to Moorfield. He stutter steps, and he's brought down short of the goal line. La Sierra comes up with a big play.
And then you can have takeaways from this game if you're La Sierra. That's a big takeaway there. We didn't just let them score. We rose up. We took their number 1 running back, and we attacked. We stopped them at the goal line.
The last time that Bryce Poppy was on the field, he came off with what appeared to be an injury. And I believe that he will not be returning to the field to play quarterback. The backup quarterback for La Sierra is number 12. Justin Esquivel on the field to take Poppy's place if he does not jog out there anytime soon. La Sierra with some substitution issues, and you can get penalized for having too many guys in the huddle. Spread look for La Sierra.
They made it just in time.
Get the snap off, and it stood up in the backfield, the La Sierra runner, and they are pinned right up against their goal line. You got to be thinking safety at this point if you're Rialto. Clock still running. Minute 45 and counting.
Overall, pretty impressive showing for Rialto. We saw them last year in their season opener, and this is a different Rialto team.
And that season opener was against Orange Vista as well. They had a 2-year contract, home and away series. They got them at home this year and just didn't play like they played tonight. And Coach Mitchell told us that. He said the Rialto team that lost to Orange Vista this year is not the Rialto team we're going to roll out there tonight, and he was right. Handoff again for La Sierra, pickup of a few, and now breaking a tackle and getting out near the first down marker for La Sierra on the left sideline. Another big gain.
This is a point where you get a lot of second teamers that want to earn playing time. This is their time. They have to show that they know the offense, they can execute, and they got to prove themselves in a situation like this.
Picks up a first down for La Sierra. That'll stop the clock momentarily as they set the chains. 46 seconds on the scoreboard here at Zach Erb Stadium. Now a timeout is called by La Sierra. Gary Hedlund just to come out and have a chat with his guys. Just a few seconds left on the scoreboard. It is 38-17 Rialto. It's been a fun one. We've had a couple of punt returns brought back for touchdowns. We had a kick return touchdown from Andre Thomas. La Sierra threatened to pull within 13 at one point, but Rialto putting him away with that punt return touchdown by Malik Reed late in the fourth quarter.
You know, a lot of games you can look at the turning point, or maybe something happened, a sequence of events, a series. But from the beginning, Rialto came out, established themselves early. Their first 2 drives, they scored. Defensively, they stepped up and they stopped La Sierra. So you got to tip your hat to Rialto today for their game plan, their execution, a few penalties here and there that they can work the bugs out, but their redemption plan on the right track.
Handoff for La Sierra, tripped up in the backfield, and a play for no gain. 1st and 10 still inside their own 15. And how about the Rialto defensive line as the clock gets down near half a minute? 7 sacks total last year, and already tonight they had a good handful of sacks against Bryce Poppy and the La Sierra offense.
Man, the pressure Poppy was under to throw, even if they didn't record sacks, he was on the run, on his heels, always somebody in his face. So again, great game planning, great execution, defensive line of Rialto, put the pressure on him and made him pay.
About 10 seconds left. This will probably be the last play, although some flags thrown on what would have been the final play. 8 seconds left, and penalty markers are down. And this is going to be a face mask against Rialto. That's a personal foul that'll at least stop the clock while we move the ball. And Gary Headland saying, just run the clock. We're already lined up for handshakes, and we're ready to get out of here with the loss and prep for a big one next week against Bloomington back here at Norte Vista. So they're going to run the clock as they move the chains. That'll extinguish the final 8 seconds, and the final horn sounds. La Sierra drops this one. Rialto picks up a 38-17 win. They go to 1-1 on the season. La Sierra drops to 1-1 as well. For the Rialto Knights, they'll head to Rubidoux. And after a big win against the La Sierra Eagles, coming off a loss to Orange Vista. So redemption was had tonight for the Knights.
Absolutely. With the Knights, you don't want to get too fat and happy with this. You want to build on this win to come out with another win next week as they start building towards league play. For La Sierra, you look back at the film. Season by far is not over. It's a non-league game. It's a learning game. And they got to look at the film and figure out what they did. To be a champion, you got to overcome these games.
Thank you so much for joining us. You've been listening to high school football here on Inland Sports Radio. We've got another game for you on Saturday. We hope you tune in for that one as well. Etiwanda versus Murrieta Mesa. Tomorrow, 11 p.m. on IEMG. Sports Weekly Live with Pep Fernandez, week 1 of the high school football season. So thank you so much for joining us. We also have to thank our awesome sponsors. Spoiled, the next time you need your oil changed, check out Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change on Alessandro Boulevard in Riverside, just off the 215 freeway. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled, and give them a follow on Instagram. Ken's Sporting Goods. Since 1976, Ken's Sporting Goods has been the #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire. They can also do uniforms for your entire team or for your business. And of course, they do Letterman's jackets. Check out Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco and visit them online at kensportinggoods.com. Catalano Motors in Corona. If you're on the market looking to purchase a car, truck, or SUV, make Catalano Motors in Corona your first stop. They have weekly specials, so you're going to save thousands of dollars. Mention the Inland Sports Show and get $500 off. That's Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. And visit them online at CatalanoCars.com. Boost Performance Training. Athletes from all sports and all levels are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Check out their strength and speed classes and become the explosive, dynamic athlete you always dreamed of. Follow Boost on Twitter and Instagram and visit them online at BoostTrainingsystems.com. That's Boost Performance Training in Corona. If you'd like to advertise with the Inland Sports Show, we'd love to have you during our football broadcasts or the Inland Sports Show. Simply shoot us an email at inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. Once again, if you're interested in joining us as a partner or an advertiser, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com is the email to hit us up. Thank you so much for listening. This was High School Football in the Inland Empire as broadcast on the Inland Sports YouTube channel and Inland Sports Radio. For myself, I'm Colin Holt. Our executive producer is Tim Hatch, and Pep Fernandez was on the sidelines all evening. We'll talk to you on Saturday, Etiwanda and Murrieta Mesa live on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.